Hello and welcome. This is Grant Hughes of Grant Hughes Investigates on YouTube. This channel evaluates all aspects of true crime. As you are aware, videos and live streams in this genre often discuss elements of crime that may be disturbing to some viewers. If necessary, take the precautions needed to avoid these feelings. Factual information related to cases is the key to fostering rational true crime discussions. Fortunately, you will find that here. Please hit the like button only once, share the video, and subscribe if you like my content. Thank you very much for watching.
Huh? It's a house!
There's mosquitoes the size of bald eagles in that dadgum swamp.
What's going on, freaks? I think I have to go to my glasses. For some reason I tried to clean them off, but it smudged something on them, so hold on. How's it going? Yeah, I made a video today. It hardly got watched at all. I guess everybody's already seen all that stuff, but that's what we're going over tonight. Some more of the interactions. Yeah, I think he's just everybody knew he was weird, and he was I don't know. Seems like somebody should have like informed law enforcement about him at some point. Yeah, yeah. So I made the mug, by the way. Let's see. There's even like a shirt. The thing is, it only looks okay on certain color shirts. Like the black, it doesn't really. I was thinking of making just an oval without transparency, and maybe that would work on any color shirt. Art and design made them bigger and everything, but I removed the transparency. There was actually you know, they weren't transparent, the images, so it would just be this big square on a shirt. So I like it when it's transparent. So let's see. Is this the one? I'm never watching again. This is a shirt, right? Oh yeah. There's the shirt. See that? Look at that. See, white looks the best. And there's the only other color it looked okay on was pink. You know, that's about it. The other ones, it looks like if you put it on dark blue, you can't see it. But what do you guys think of that? There's that one. There's also a shirt. I think I don't know if I've made the shirt with the. But here's the mug. That's what I was really showing here. I guess that's not it. Spring, never watching again. Then maybe this is the other one. Oh yeah, I like that one. That's pretty cool. So that one has a few different colors. This is women's t-shirts here. There's basically only pink, white, and gray. That's the only ones that look normal. Look bad with other colors on there. But you guys, we're at 0 again. Seems like we have a lot of shows where we get started and we just start off at 000 for a long time. So if you guys are out there where we're watching, if you guys can help support the channel, that would be awesome. You guys know what we do here. Oh yeah, so here's the mug. So there's the mug. It's the white mug, and then basically white's, I mean, I think that's the only color that's like looks cool. See that? I'm never watching again. I guess that's what you're looking at when you're drinking if you're right-handed. And then this one is the butt gray on the other side. So there you go. I guess that's, I'll put that right here. Butt gray, I'm never watching again. All right. Well, we got it. We got it. Yeah, the thing is the mugs and shirts aren't really a great like money maker thing for the channel. You know, you get like $5 a mug, you know, and it's like, okay, if somebody goes, ooh, I'll buy $20 a mug, and then the channel gets $5. I mean, it sucks because then it's like, well, our night probably wasn't very good because everybody bought mugs. You'd have to buy 20 mugs for the channel to make $100. I mean, I think if I bought them all myself and shipped them, but you know, how do you know how many people are going to buy them? Then you're going to be, you get left with about 1,000 mugs. But I think it'd be cool if people wore these. Like, you know, it's weird. Well, I don't know. Maybe I just have something on the front. I mean, I could have put something on the back, but it didn't actually give me an option to do that. So what do you think of that? That has a little GHI there, and then I'm never watching again. It's almost like a shirt that a troll would make, but it's just funny. Thanks, Alley Cake. And art and design, gifted one. I'll have to send art and design. You can send me. I'll send you a mug, art and design. So send me your address. All right. Anyways, I guess we could just get on to this stuff here. Thanks, Richard Watts. Oh yeah. Before we do that though, let's take a look at like, you know, People Magazine came out with this today. Brian Kohberger said victim's name on the night of Idaho murder. Surviving roommates told police and newly... Isn't that amazing how they always use that? Instead of just kind of like, you know, working through it. Here, I'll show you. Let me try to find the important files. There it is, the full document. And we'll go down to the, you can always, that would have been awesome if they'd put a floor layout in here, but they didn't do that. Thanks, Larry Fuller. Let's see, where's the part where she said, evidence? Oh, that's totally different. It's not even. All right. Right up near the top here. Oh yeah, right here it says, it's okay, I'm going to help you. Alright, so let's just have that open there, right? It's okay, I'm going to help you. Thanks, CR, and thanks for the memberships on the premiere earlier that nobody watched. Yeah, here we go. We got the trolls showing up again. Yes. You guys are awesome. And that's so uncreative of you, you idiot. I mean, everybody, that's been said for a long time by the dumbest people on YouTube. And you're one of them now. Ah, Jesus. Hey, thanks, Leanne Bell. So let's see. Let's read the... and that was actually started by a person in the Delphi case. A person who got the case completely wrong and sensationalized it. And didn't like me because that's what I did. I did the opposite of what she would say. You know what I'm saying? Like, I literally would go out and... put out the facts in the case, and I can't remember what her name was. It was like some big blonde girl that was a drunk, drug addict, wacko. Forgot her name. She was crazy, though. So right here it says, Brian Kohberger had no known ties to any of the victims, prosecutors have said, but according to one of the surviving roommates, he identified at least one of his victims by name before stabbing them to death. See how they're just going to add this huge sort of conspiracy, not a conspiracy, but something that actually has an answer. Two newly unsealed documents in the murder state that Dylan Mortensen told authorities she had heard the killer say Kaylee Gonzalez's name during his fatal stabbing spree. Now, I'd have to see how she worded it to the officer, but... right here it says, it's okay, Kaylee, I'm here for you. Alright? But then, let's go back to that other document. Look it, it's... I mean, this is crazy, right? It's okay, Kaylee, I'm here for you. It's okay, I'm going to help you. I think that's referring to the exact same moment in time. And, by the way, there was somebody who wrote down what she thought she said. Alright? This isn't like her writing down. This is what I said. They're saying she said that. And it's not a quote from Dylan. It's literally the officer who's interviewing Dylan, as they're summarizing what they heard her say, that's what they wrote. But don't you think that that's the exact same moment in time? And it's the same time frame, too. Like, she literally says it during the same thing. Like, she heard her crying in the bathroom, and then somebody saying, hey, Gray, I found it interesting that Kohberger bought a pre-packaged Starbucks Frappuccino when he is diehard vegan. I don't know. Who knows what he is. Maybe it was a dairy-free version. It shows how misinformation is created. Yeah, I mean, it's the exact same time frame. She was awakened and opened her door and heard a male say, it's okay, Kaylee, I'm here to help, I'm here for you, and crying. That's exactly the same time. Look at right here, watch this. Stated he opened her door a second time when she heard what she thought was crying coming from Kernodle's room. Dylan Mortensen said she heard a male's voice say something to the effect of, and has quotes around it, it's okay, I'm going to help you. Then in this document over here, and that's just, I think it's like intellectual dishonesty by, or either that or they just aren't aware. They're just, I think that's more likely, don't you think? That these people are just they're not likely aware of, like, the details of a case. They don't know that, oh, wow, it's okay, I'm going to help you. It's okay, Kaylee, I'm here for you. I mean, I don't know how this became, somehow was described. Maybe she does say something like that in an interview, but it was obviously changed later when she thought about it. Because that can't be Kaylee down there. Kaylee is up in the bed. She was never running up and down the stairs. She was found in the bed and behind Madison Mogen, like on the bed. So it just doesn't make any sense at all. Does anybody think that that's not the same moment in time? So she either said, "It's okay, I'm going to help you," or she said "It's okay, Kaylee, I'm here for you." I mean, it's either or. It isn't. She didn't say it both because it's at the exact same time. And she's saying that she heard the voice say that. And right here, she said she heard a voice say that. And then this one, she said she heard a voice say that. Hey, thanks, Flora Poste. Or, let's see, interesting that Kaylee Gonzalez's sister used that statement in her court. Which one? Which statement? I mean, I don't know if it's interesting. Oh, yeah, her saying that she said her name or something. I don't know. I can't remember how she worded that. What was the thing that the sister said? I do remember something like that. But it is the same thing. So it's either one or the other. And maybe, I mean, how did the Gonzalez's know that there was this other version of it? Oh, she just said, "I'm here to help you"? Okay. Yeah, that was good. I mean, I don't know if it's, when you say interesting, like it's a developing fact or, something like, look at that. Yeah, she used it intentionally. Her mom said, what do you mean her mom said? I don't know what that means. Her mom said that in her impact statement. Said what? "It's okay, I'm here to help you"? Okay. Yeah, I mean that's interesting. What you're saying, the part about "it's okay, I'm going to help you," right? Yeah, I'm sure they did everything they could to use his words and everything he said against him. Well, I don't know if that means that. It means that she's using words that people heard her say. I think this is new information, and I'm not sure it's accurate. I would think on the probable cause, they would put the accurate information. But either way, that doesn't help anything. So it's not like if you're a pro-burger conspiracy nutter, it doesn't help Kohberger out or hurt him if he said, "Hey, Kaylee, I'm here for you," or "It's okay, I'm going to help you." There's no benefit or gain or anything like that. So you would think they would just put what was accurate on the probable cause because, it's not like you're trying to sell something. And it would have, if you thought that Kaylee was the target or there was maybe a target opportunity to discuss, you would have brought that up. You would have said, "Oh, wow, look at, he said, it's okay, Kaylee." But it almost sounds like, somebody's making an error here in the writing. It's hearsay, really. Yeah, it's hearsay, really. It's hearsay. Oh, it's hearsay, really. Okay. Just a confused kid. Well, not from her point of view. I mean, she can say what she heard. Yeah, I don't think so. I mean, it makes it, for the people who think Kaylee's the target, it's like a neat little, "Ooh, wow. It's okay, Kaylee, I'm here to help you, here for you." But it doesn't make sense logically. Because Xana was the one who was awake and moving around and went upstairs and then apparently was chased downstairs. And, if there's crying coming from that bathroom area, it sure as hell isn't Kaylee, because she's upstairs. She was upstairs in bed with Madison Mogen. And I don't think she ever left the bed. It just doesn't make any sense at all. So anyways, these outlets here are not going to care or, look it up and try to figure things out. They just want to say it. At the time of the first interview, Mortensen believed that she heard Gonzalez run down the stairs. See, and I think she thinks in her mind that she heard Kaylee because she thought it was Kaylee running down the stairs and then this person was going to help her, but it wasn't. It wasn't. Maybe they do. Let's see what they go through this. Hey, look at that. Brown-eyed girl became a Megazoid. Thank you. Let's see what they say, though. At the time of this first interview, Mortensen believed that she heard Gonzalez run down the stairs at the time of the murders while trying to flee her killer. Mortensen said that after hearing Gonzalez run downstairs, she heard the killer speak. She then heard a male, which she stated she had never heard before, say, "It's okay, I'm going to help you." Well, no, but that's, you're not going to say that's a separate thing, right? Believed the unidentified male was in the bathroom and with the person who was crying. She believed it was Kaylee who was the one crying. I read the report summarizing Mortensen's first interview after the killing. I don't remember it saying, also having this in there when we read that. Mortensen then changed her story later that same day after learning more details about the murders. Okay, so this article is going through and, looking at it logically. But, it's the headline that, So Mortensen then changed her story later that same day after learning more details about the murders, saying she believed it was probably Xana who was crying, even though at the moment of hearing the crying, she stated she believed it was Kaylee who was crying. She also said Kernodle was likely the person she heard running down the stairs after discovering her friends being stabbed or seeing Kohberger. But Mortensen did state in both interviews that she was still in shock and trying to process the situation. However, even after saying that she told police she was certain about the killer using Gonzalez's name. I don't remember reading anything about that. However, even after saying that, she told police that she was certain about the killer using Gonzalez's name. I don't know, man. I didn't read anywhere in the documents where it said that. She advised she knows what she heard, especially about hearing who she believed was Kaylee crying and the male voice telling her he was there for her. Detective Victoria M. Gooch wrote in a report filed after she conducted that first interview with Mortensen alongside Sergeant Blaker. Well, maybe I need to go look that. I don't remember seeing that. Do you guys remember seeing that? She advised she knows what she heard. Okay, and then down here, Mortensen, who is the lone eyewitness to have seen the killer on the night of the murders, also struggled to identify Kohberger as the man she saw that night. I don't know. I don't remember seeing where it said she was certain of any of that stuff. But anyways, what do you guys think? Yeah, I just think she was really drunk. I don't think she was certain of anything. I think just, she was saying all kinds of, she had a lot of errors in what she was seeing. Her testimony isn't actually crucial to the case. It's neat, to have, oh, look, he's got a balaclava and he had bushy eyebrows, but at the same time, his DNA is on the knife sheath. And then there was a white Elantra driving around missing its front plate. And he purchased a K-bar knife. It's nice that the only thing that she adds extra is she saw the guy with a balaclava and he had bushy eyebrows. So that would sort of just add a little bit of circumstantial evidence. But the case would be powerful even without that. It wouldn't even, it's like a drop in a bucket, her comment. Yeah, we do need a wave, MM. We're already, we're about like a fifth. Plus the video today didn't do very well. It's got like 3,000 views or something. So, it might make $35 or something. It's just, I don't know. That's the first time you heard. No, it was in the new documents that came out. I think it's at the top. Right? What was the number? Like page 11, something like that. No, that's a different document. This one right here, page 11. Yeah, I mean this is the one right here. Okay, I think it's coming up. Right there. The second time when she opened her door, she heard who she believed to be Kaylee crying and believed Kaylee was in the second floor bathroom. She then heard a male's voice, which she stated she had never heard before, say, "It's okay, I'm going to help you." Believe the So this is, okay. But where's the part about Kaylee? I mean, I remember reading that just recently. It was in a couple days ago, right? Just a second. Help. Shoot. Oh, man. Just a second. I gotta open up the... Kohberger. Oh, no, it's in here. Hold on. Hell. Everything just disappeared. Like I had a whole folder with the links in it and everything. Just went. Hey, thanks, Allie Cake. It's out here. Huh? That's wild. It was just that People magazine that we were just looking at. I can probably just find it. Kohberger. There it is. I believe Xana was crying even though at the moment. It's okay, Kaylee. Let's try to find that. Yeah. Yeah, it's not in this one. Maybe it was in that last set of documents. Don't know. Thanks, Art and Design Studio. Alright, well, whatever it is, you know, there's a reality out there and then there's an unreality. And I don't think it was Kaylee what Kohberger said, because he's chasing Xana at the time, and it just doesn't make any sense logically. So it doesn't matter that she really believes that's what she heard, because it doesn't make sense. However, there was stuff that she said that didn't make sense before that turned out to be real. Remember how she said she, you know, well, she said something like she saw Xana running, or Kaylee running down the stairs or something. But she never actually said saw. She said she heard Kaylee running down the stairs, and I'm not sure how you could ever even tell that. Yeah, I mean, I'm probably the biggest defender of Dylan and Bethany that there are out there. I mean, you know, some of the stuff Dylan says is all over the place, but it doesn't, you know, I mean, they have absolutely nothing to do with the murders, and that's all anybody should ever think. You know, if you don't think they have anything to do with the murders, then just leave them the hell alone. Now, if you want to go out there and make a whole case and, you know, think you have something that the law enforcement couldn't find, then you go ahead and waste your life. But that absolutely isn't something I'm going to be doing at all here. Yeah, what if Murphy ran down the stairs with Xana? Wouldn't that be crazy? Yeah, it's weird. I thought that was in this one, but I think it was in that last dump of data that we had, right? And one of those huge Dylan Mortensen documents, but it felt like it was no, that was just recently. So I'm not sure why that's not in here. Let me see, Kaylee. That's why they're in these articles, because it just came out. Let me see if it just pops up if I do a search. She heard Kaylee say someone's here, and she sounded frantic. She said she heard who she believed to be Kaylee running down the stairs. She advised Murphy was barking at this time, but that was Xana. She actually texted Kaylee, wondering what was going on. Thanks, Laney Carter. Kaylee. She further stated she believed it was Kaylee was running down the stairs after she heard her say, "Someone is here." She further explained, so Kaylee could have said that. Or as soon as somebody came into the room, she goes, "Somebody's here." That's definitely a possibility. She further explained she does not know if she actually heard this or whether she was drunk and did not actually hear any of this. Okay, the second time when she opened her door, she heard who she believed to be Kaylee crying and believed Kaylee was in the second floor bathroom. That's when she heard, "It's okay, I'm going to help you." She believed the unidentified male was in the bathroom and with the person who was crying. She believed it was Kaylee who was crying. What's weird is that quote. I can't find that quote anymore. Does anybody know what segment that's in? Hey, thanks, Lillian. The quote of her, saying, "Kaylee, I'm here for you, Kaylee," or whatever the hell it was. I read it. I found it. We were reading over it the other day. I just don't remember if it was in this document or... Yeah. It's just not even in here. Maybe if I can just look up one word that's not normal. Like, let's see. It's okay, Kaylee. Here for... How about just here for you? Maybe that's in here somewhere. Oh, there you go. Right there on page 91. It's way down there. A whole different section. Yeah. Okay, well, let's see. At about 2:41 p.m., I arrived on the scene. Already on the scene were MPD. It's weird. When I did search for "It's Okay, Kaylee," it didn't find it. And it's right there. So I don't know why it couldn't find it. But let's just see what it says down here. Sometime in the early morning hours, I was awoken and opened her room. Probably Dylan was awoken and opened her room door. Dylan... And door, and what word would be there? Mortensen, I don't know. And heard a male say, "It's okay, Kaylee, I'm here for you," and crying. She then shut the door. So that's the exact same time, just by reading that, as the probable cause document where it says, right here, or wherever that was, I think I scrolled way past it now. It's okay, I'm going to help you. Dylan Martinson then said she heard a male voice saying something to the effect of, it's okay, I'm going to help you. So when she says, maybe they say to the effect, it's okay, they don't put Kaylee in here because she wasn't certain about it, and it's just to the effect of, it's okay, I'm going to help you, right? But there's a quote there. I mean, it quotes the person, Dylan. And then in this one, and then in the other document, she said, it's okay, Kaylee, I'm here for you. That's kind of a different meaning too and everything, you know. So anyways, what do you guys think about that? I mean, I know it's just a lot of, you know, I'm just I don't know. I like when things are nicely buttoned up. I hate these kind of little things where you're like, ah, man, just, you know. And the thing is she could have even thought it was Kaylee, and maybe she thought she heard Kaylee, but it wasn't. I guess that's how we just have to look at it, right? That it's just, you know, you're drunk, it's in the middle of the night, you're just kind of wondering what the hell's happening, and then when you have to recall it the next day, how accurate are you going to be on some of the little fine details of what words somebody might have used. You know, noticing somebody walking by, that's pretty traumatic, so you're going to remember that, right? Yeah, the dog was barking, etc. Well, I mean, she's saying that. I mean, that's because I said that on my show, Cynthia. Yeah. Yeah, I said it's an error. She wouldn't have said that. I mean, I said that 2 days ago. You know? And she doesn't know any more than anybody else. She wasn't told that it was an error or anything. Let's see. Whatever happened that night or went on with Dylan, somehow she avoided being victim number 5. Yep. And Bethany, number 6. But Dylan was right in the middle of it all. You guys are... playing big... Okay, so look, I wanted to go over some more of the times where they interviewed people that Kohberger worked with. Would you guys be interested in that? But you guys, hey, we're having one of those massive lulls. We need to see. My channel actually actively tries to get super chats and people supporting the channel, tipping the channel while we're doing these shows, because at the end of the month, my channel, unlike the others who make more than I do, gives away thousands of dollars to various true crime related charities out of the income of the channel. We're currently at $255,500 since January of 2020, and we're at like 20. What's this one? Now this year so far we're at 26,551. All right, so we're trying to start moving the numbers up. So if you guys are out there and you have the ability to help support the channel, if you're somebody who can't afford it or anything, I'm not talking to you, but I'm talking to the people that, hey, there is no ad revenue on these live streams, and you guys are the sole source of the support, and I'm asking you guys if you'll help support the channel. If you can, a little bit here and there every single night or whatever, it's awesome. I mean, that's how we're able to do it. But when we have these long lulls, it makes it, the energy level drops, and it's very difficult to just keep doing the show knowing that people aren't supporting you. Let's see, they had the guy by the end of November. After reading some docs, I'm so sad to learn. Well, they didn't have the guy by the end of November. They didn't have him by the end of November. They had him by the December 19th is when his name came out. I'm not sure what you're referring to there. They saw his car, they wrote it down, but they weren't in a hurry to turn it into law enforcement because it was a 2013 to 2000 or 2011 to 2013 that law enforcement said they were looking for. So they didn't hustle to get it over there because it was a 2015. No, they didn't, Marianne. They didn't have him. Sorry for your confusion. They didn't know who Brian Kohberger. They didn't associate him with the crime or anything. Man, where do these people come from, man? I know this case inside and out. It's just people come in and they just say things. And thanks, Michelle H. and Wendy Woobles. After butchering 4 kids, he was ready to get out there. Yeah. They just, hey, Marianne, they didn't ask any of those interviews until he was identified. That's when they came forward. It was in like January and February. That's when people started talking about who Kohberger was, because law enforcement wanted to interview people that knew him to get a feel and get more information about him. Really clear stuff. And I'm telling you the truth here. I don't make stuff up. You know, sometimes I get something wrong or whatever. Then I'll just correct it and move. We just move forward. But it's not very often. Plus, I know for a fact that they didn't ask any of those interview questions to any of those people until they identified Brian Kohberger as the killer. No, they didn't have him, Sherry. See, they didn't have him. So you guys are nuts, okay? I mean, you guys are absolutely nuts. They just had a cop. They had cops driving around, writing down, you know, where a white Elantra was, okay? And even if they had sent it over to them, they, I don't know, you know, what would they do with it? You know, the thing that was key was they'd have him in a list somewhere. They'd say, oh, okay, there's a guy over there that has a white Elantra. And then maybe they could have snuck around and found some trash that he threw out and compared the DNA to the DNA on the sheath, but they didn't do that. They did forensic genetic genealogy, and it led to him. And then they go back and say, wow, look at this. Kohberger was in the system, meaning somebody came by and they saw that he had a white Elantra, and that's it. But it was a 2015. I just don't understand. No, you guys are. I've done the whole timeline. I have the timeline. You're incorrect, Marianne Nolan. You're incorrect. All right, anyways, someone was discussing it today, Gray, saying they could have had it. Right, so there's a whole bunch of clowns that show up over here listening to another YouTuber, so therefore they could have had him. Sure, anybody could have had anybody. You're right. You're absolutely right. You know, somebody could have said, hey, there's a guy with a white Elantra over there. They could have gone over there and went, wow, this guy looks creepy. Look at that. Wow, he even has bushy eyebrows. Let's test his DNA and compare it to the DNA on the knife. Oh my God, it matched. That's not how it works. And it just doesn't work like that at all. Oh my God. Look at you guys. It's in the docs, Gray. They had his license plate number. I've gone over it 100 times. We know when they had all that stuff, Ginger. You're not coming up with something new. Everybody knows that. I've read all of it. I've said it out loud on the show. My God, the trolls are just like... Everybody thinks they have it all down, and they don't have it down, okay? Yes, I went over the documents. There was 2 officers who went over to the apartment complex. Like within 30 minutes of each other. I think it was on November 29th. I mean, hell, I have the damn timeline here, okay? It's in my timeline. Everybody's aware of it. You're not coming up with something new and juicy. It's just, it's bizarre, you know, bizarro world. Here we go. So we're going to go right over here. November 29th. That's what I was going to say. But if I said it wrong, you say, see, Gray, you did. So here we go. 11:29 at 12:28 and 12:58 a.m. Officer Daniel Tiengo located a white Elantra, and then Officer Curtis Whitman located a white Honda Elantra, right? Which are these 2 right here. See that? Yeah, they got that. They got his license number and everything. They put it. They just had it in their internal system. Had they called, I said before, had they called up the Moscow Police Department and said, hey, you know, we got this white Elantra over here. Here it is. it's possible they would have started looking into Brian Kohberger at that time and found a reason that they... I mean, here's the thing, is how do you get a warrant? They'd have to have literally collected his trash and compared his DNA. Because what would the warrant reason be? Hey, this guy looks dicey. You need a warrant to get the cell tower data. What led to all of that was the DNA on the sheath that led to Brian Kohberger using FGG, and then they go back in time and see, does this guy, does it work? Like, is this guy a viable suspect after the tip is generated by the forensic genetic genealogy? But anyways, you guys, we're really struggling tonight. We're currently at still like 1/3, not even a third of the nightly goal. So if you're out there and you have the ability to help, as I said a minute ago, I don't want to have one of those shows again where I just have to keep saying it over and over and over. You guys know what the goals are, what we do over here, and I'm not sure what else to tell you. Maybe I'll put something on the screen. Let's see. All right, there we go. I don't think so, Elena. They said it was a 2011 to 2013. They didn't even have that footage yet where it was 2014 to 16. Yeah, I'm just saying... sure, it's possible, but for anybody to say out there that it was something, oh man, they should have had him earlier, and who cares anyways? I mean, they got him, they did FGG, they led to Brian Kohberger, and they arrested him. I just don't understand the whole, I mean, we've talked about this before. Yeah, sure, they could have sped things up. I think I even said, like, man, that's so crappy, they should have sent that tip over anyways. Even if it was a 2015 and it was 2011 to 13, because it is a white Elantra. And, that's what the problem is when you have a date range on something. When you say, oh, 2011 to 13. And then people go, oh, 15, okay, forget it. I mean, that's stupid. You should just say a white Elantra. How many white Elantras are even in Pullman and Moscow, Idaho? I bet it was less than 100 total that were white Elantras in that area. If there was even that many. But according to the Kohbergers, there's 50,000 in the area where everybody had 2.5 of them. Yeah. Oh, jeez. Marianne Nolan, are you a Kohberger? Because you sure as hell starting to sound like one. I'm getting sick of your stupid questions and just idiotic comments. Let's see. According to, what do you mean this reminds you of the movie Copycat? What are you referring to? Nobody even knows what you're talking about, Marianne. You got about 2 more minutes on the channel. Your 30 seconds of idiotic comments are just about over. Hey, thank you, Deidre Gambrel. I mean, yeah, they would have had his name, and they might have started looking into Kohberger on the 29th. Do you think they would have arrested him without collecting his DNA before the 19th? There's no way in hell. So the 19th they came up with his name, and then he was already back in Pennsylvania at that time. I bet you they would not have arrested him by the 16th. He would have driven home. And I think Kohberger was probably very careful about where he threw away garbage. Hey, thanks. Hello World 305. All right. So anyways, you guys want to go over some of those? I just get so irritated. You guys ever feel the same way I do when you're dealing with these people who they're still trying to make the argument for Kohberger, sort of subtly, almost passively, aggressively, little comments, wondering about this and that. Just come right out and say it, you guys. Just come right out and say it, that you believe Kohberger didn't do it, and he pled guilty, and without a chance of an appeal, even though he can still appeal, whatever. just because he's a cool dude and didn't want to hurt anybody else. Give me a break, man. You guys are... Yeah. Yeah. Anyways, couldn't I just have a show where it's just smooth sailing? You know, where I don't have to go, great. Yeah. All right. So I'm not sure. Do we have does the coffee thing work anymore? I don't think. I got to figure that thing out. And thanks, Nancy and Lily in there. No coffees, though, you guys. No coffees. We got to get those rolling along. Here we go. But we got a goal up at the top of the screen there. There's actually 2 on there now. For some reason it says 0, but that should have been... Those 2 there should have been there. And could tip them off. Yeah, I mean, they could have looked into them, and their only thing that they could have done with Kohberger, since they had a DNA sequence already, would have been to, surreptitiously gather some item and test his DNA against it. That's what they might have done. And you don't need a warrant for that. If he throws it away on a curb, or like in a curbside trash can, or in a public trash can. That's it. Right. And so what we're doing on this channel right now is we're just trying to put all the pieces together to, try to figure out exactly, what motivated him, how it went down, and how he was with different people, etc. All right. Hey, thanks, Allie Cake. As in, I'll eat cake, right, Allie? Do you like chocolate cake, Allie Cake? I like chocolate cake. Chocolate cake is the best, man. I don't know what to say. It's just, no one could give up their entire life. Yeah, exactly. That's what I tell everybody. That's why these pro-burger people are crazy, because Kohberger completely, he's saying he's going to allow himself to die in prison. It's not like an Alford plea, people think it's sort of like that. Like, he's really innocent, but he pled guilty because he thought they had enough evidence to give him the death penalty. But then if that was true, he would not have gone with the waiving as a right to appeal, okay? He would never have done that. Hey, thanks Sherry and Lisa for the coffees. Was it Cartels, Gray? I'm never watching again. You. Yeah. Sure it was the Cartels. Sure it was. You got it. You got it. And we never did have, when it got up to like 900 people, there weren't 900 people here. There might be 400 or 500, but... Now, he never did this account, turns out. He never actually did throw. That was a rumor. That was something that all the books, all the documentaries, and there was never any information about Kohberger throwing his garbage in the neighbor's garbage can. He was seen separating his garbage. Yeah, we just found that out like a couple days ago. He was separating the trash in the kitchen when police arrived, though. So what he was doing with that, we don't know. But all right, you guys want to do this? We'll go over some of these other. They look pretty interesting. Like, here's one right here. She stated she first met Kohberger during orientation. Let's see. She said the only social event she had previously attended with Kohberger was a barbecue she hosted at his was a barbecue he hosted at his, this is a guy then, at his residence. He said her... wait, no, it's a she. Let's see. Said the only social event was Kohberger was a barbecue he had hosted at his residence. I don't know. I don't know if I'm reading that right, but anyways, she said her only day-to-day interaction with Kohberger occurred in the classroom. Maybe the he was somebody up here. PhD students, which she further explained as attending class together twice on Tuesday, one on Wednesday, and one on Thursday. She said the only social event she had previously attended with Kohberger was a barbecue or maybe this is like a person. Oh yeah, this is a name here. Like Joe Smith hosted at his residence. She said her only day-to-day interaction with Kohberger occurred in the classroom because she worked upstairs in the secure area as part of her internship with the something, and Kohberger's office was downstairs. Richardson provided a brief overview. They seem like they redact stuff that shouldn't be, nor at all be redacted, like the name of a program. I think that's stupid. No one did anything. What are you talking about, Marianne? I'm not pro. She's just so many red flags prior. No, there wasn't, though. There's red flags at this school, but nobody's saying anything to anybody. Can you stop, Marianne? It's not interesting what you're complaining about. Please, it's just not interesting. It's not helping. It's not, there's nothing new or fresh about what you're saying. You're just kind of repeating the same thing that a lot of people say over and over again. All right? It's not fun either. We're not going to, I just want to go over this new information and not rehash, something in the past. We already talked about how, a while ago that sure, it's possible that they could have got onto his name and started investigating him earlier, but I would say no earlier than the 29th of November. Okay? Because that's when a car shows up. Prior to that, they wouldn't have had a clue. And then they'd have to try to start building a case within a 2-week period. And it would all come down to comparing the DNA that they might have found on Kohberger, maybe from his office somewhere where they could swab it and then compare it to the DNA on the knife sheath, and then they'd have a match. So how long that would have taken, who knows? Yes, hey, thanks, Tamran. Yeah, who doesn't like chocolate? Well, I mean, there's people that don't like chocolate for some reason, but yeah, man. I wish that was the only, if that could be, like if that was healthy to eat, it would be so great. That's what the problem is. Somebody needs to invent that. Invent a healthy to eat chocolate cake, where it takes years off of your life, every pound of it you eat. Oh yeah, you should get it. Can you buy it? It's a crying shame. You should get one of those. Why didn't you tell me? Yeah, they're awesome, Chihuahuas, man. I was an anti-Chihuahua person until one jumped in my lap. Good old Blue. And then it was all over. Oh yeah? That's funny, Cynthia. Alright, let's see. She stated she was sick the week following the homicide, then was gone for Thanksgiving break after returning to class after Thanksgiving. This person said Kohberger had cuts on his hands. Sort of, I was saying, I don't know if I said it in my video or not, but I think it's interesting that the long sleeve shirt element And if he had cut on his hand, it might have been his right hand. And I think the image that we're seeing is a selfie shot of Kohberger with his thumbs up. And I think you got to flip it around to make it, then you could see which hand he was holding the phone with. I think he's holding, in that image, it looks like he's holding the phone with his right hand. And maybe they've already flipped it for us. I don't know. Thanks, T-Ree. She noticed cuts on his hands. Described the cuts on the hands as cat scratches with Band-Aids over the cuts. She did not ask Kohberger about the cuts on the hands because of his general over-engagement in conversation. She didn't want to start a conversation. Remember that thing I said the other day when you're at work and you're walking down the hallway and you say to somebody, "Hey, how's it going?" Nobody's expecting somebody to stop and say, "Well, I'll tell you what, man, my car, it broke down when I was coming to work." And then the strangest thing, this car drove by a mud puddle and splashed up on the side of my car and some hit me. So then I had to drive all the way home. I mean, nobody wants that. They want you to say, "Yeah, hey, pretty good. You? Hey, thanks." All right. But Kohberger is probably the type, if you asked him how he was doing, he would go on for a month. In that, he'd be late for a meeting. He wouldn't let you pass him. Yeah, sorry to hear that, Terminus. Let's see. Yeah, Kohberger would continue talking to people even. Yeah, right. They were like, "Well, tell you what, I gotta go get something to eat. So tell me about your logistic program in the." No, I gotta go. Yeah, so I was thinking about this. What? Hey, Kohberger, get the hell out of my face. I gotta get by. Let's see. She said the dates she would have seen the cuts were November 29th and 30th. Wow, the same day that the officers saw his white Elantra. She said they had harassment training on November 8th. So the thing is if they'd got his name on, let's say, the 29th, and then the 30th, they start looking into him, they could have gone over to the university, and maybe they would have started asking around, and people would say, "Oh, he's a really weird," and then it might have started making them go, this is interesting. When would they have determined? They still would have had to get his DNA and see if it matched, and then how do they get to the point where they'd have to track him around until he threw something out. Hey, thanks, Sandy Shirley. Thanks for all you do, Gray. You're the only podcast I trust to give us the straight facts and then put work into timelines and graphics so we can understand. All right. Well, we'll be doing that with Rex Huerman, too. We'll have that all dialed in at some point. That's a beast, that case, though. That's a big one. She said they had harassment training on November 8th, 2022, and it was rumored the training was because of Kohberger. Right. However, she could not confirm that information. She said Kohberger's behavior changed after the meeting, and she assumed his behavior change was in response to what they discussed in training. She described Kohberger becoming quieter and not speaking up in class. She said on Wednesday, November 9th, 2022, Kohberger arrived late, then left class after 10 minutes to go and get coffee, which she described as highly unusual. She described an interaction with Kohberger after leaving one evening when she was with somebody else, and Kohberger trapped her into conversation with him. She stated she was not aware of Kohberger having any social media. She said Kohberger showed her a picture of him hiking in the area of Moscow Mountain, and he appeared to be alone. She said she had never been to Kohberger's apartment or in his vehicle. She stated she did not know the victims and was unaware of anyone who knew them. Well, you probably wouldn't. They're over in Moscow, and that's Pullman. Yeah. Well. Alright, we need 7 more on the goal up there, you guys. And then we'll still have to do more after that, because that won't even get us to the goal. Not that many wide launchers around WSU or Idaho. Yeah, I think there might be like there was even a number in there. There was something like, what was it the other day? 25 or 20 of them total. I don't know if they're even white. Let's see. She said Kohberger showed her a picture of him hiking in the area of Moscow Mountain, and he appeared to be alone. She said she had never been to Kohberger's apartment or in his vehicle. She stated she did not know the victims and was unaware of anyone who knew them. I'll tell you where we're lacking tonight. We only have 3 channel memberships donated, or gifted to people, which is we normally get like 25 or 30 of those. On December 4th, 2022, she found snow footprints leading to the back window of her apartment. Wow. I think Kohberger is like all of these footprints and things that people see. I think a lot of them are him. Whoever had left the footprints and backtracked within the tracks. That's crazy. And then her fiance installed security cameras in response to finding those footprints. She forwarded the photographs of the footprints to Detective Lehman. She provided her address. Man, wouldn't that be crazy if that was his? I mean, near the interview's conclusion, she requested we speak with somebody else by phone about an incident at the apartment. Probably her boyfriend, maybe. Yeah, and then he said he was playing video games when someone jiggled the door handle to the apartment, and after getting up and looking outside, no one was there. She said the incident occurred between October 26th and December 9th, 2022. For full details, there's an audio file on that. I wonder if some of those will get released. All right, that's one of them. All right, you guys, so if you're out there and you can help support the channel, that'd be awesome. We got one of those lulls going again. The problem is when I'm reading, people quit supporting the channel often. So I don't know how to, not read these. I don't know how to do it. Hey, look at that. It's Dana Dane. The hell's going on, Dana Dane? I do not think he's killed before. I think this is his first. That was going to be his first of many, but he wasn't able to. Yeah, people like to dig the reading, but it, just like when you play the press conferences or whenever I'm reading, just dies down dramatically. So, yeah, we're currently at about 60% of the low end of a goal. You're still trucking? All right. Yeah, I can't find her interview, the Korean girl. I was looking for it today. I was trying to use specific words. It might be in here somewhere, but she might not have. I don't know. It seems like Indiana State Police would have interviewed her. It wouldn't have been Moscow. It'd be Indiana State Police. I mean, not Indiana, Idaho State Police. I say that in my head so much. Indiana. Every time I see ISP, I think of Indiana State Police because of Delphi. I don't know what you're talking about, Darren. What will ever go on sale? What are you talking about? Oh, let me see. Oh, I see it, Brown-Eyed Girl. I got the coffee. Yeah, I couldn't see it on the screen. But thank you. All right.
You
There you go. There you go. Yeah, it came through. The coffee. All right. Thank you. Let's see. Yeah, there used to be something that showed up on the screen when a coffee came in, but I think they built something new, so I think I have to change it now. I'll have to redo that. I keep forgetting to do it. But thank you, Brown-Eyed Girl. It's a crying shame. All right, this is the next one here. So this is a cohort, whatever. Let me just go down here. This person mostly interacts in classes shared for 3 hours per day with Kohberger and explained Kohberger's interaction in her office shared with somebody else and somebody else. She said Kohberger seemed to focus his attention towards her office mate. I bet she was blonde hair, which made her uncomfortable. The office mates, I guess, tried to keep their office door closed to keep Kohberger out. Isn't that amazing, you guys? Did any of you else really realize how bad it was? Yeah, we heard he was, kind of a mean teacher to the women students, etc. And, he had a little bit of a attitude when he talked to the professors. But this paints a picture of somebody that was absolutely, almost like stalkerish, just right there in the office. It's pretty crazy. Sorry I missed that, brown-eyed girl. Yeah, but we didn't have any idea that it was like this. She said she tried to remain civil when speaking to Kohberger, but felt he intended to be aggressive up front, specifically with female colleagues. She said Kohberger engaged in unsolicited debates and arguments regarding topics she felt were not up for debate. I wonder what those were. Probably some of the ones I talk about sometimes. Hey, thanks Vandana Dale and Wendy Woobles gifting a membership. It's crazy how many complaints were made about it. Yeah, well, I mean, all these people are talking about it in these interviews, but these people all complain too. I mean, it's not like it was. They're just saying what they already knew. I bet a lot of these people weren't even surprised when his name came up. Let's see. She explained an incident in class where the topic of eyewitness misidentification was being discussed. She was explaining her viewpoint due to her background in the topic. Kohberger was agitated and argumentative because he did not agree with their explanation. A classmate, so-and-so, defended her to Kohberger and tried to stop the debate. She told Kohberger his arguing was mansplaining. Man, imagine if we came up with a word called womansplaining. Do you think we'd get in trouble for saying that? I'm not sure what mansplaining really means, But man, could you imagine if a guy said, "Oh, you're womansplaining"? Oh boy. I mean, if there was an actual phrase for that. Well, I guess there is. Like when I say girl code, you guys are okay. Because we have an icon, and I sell mugs. By the way, they're girl code mugs because women have this innate ability to communicate with each other with very little. It doesn't mean anything to a guy. But you guys are able to talk, it's just crazy. A look here, I mean, there's sentence, you could go, oogla, bloogla, lug, lug, lug. And the other girl would go, yes, I bought 3 of those last week at Wendy's, or whatever the hell it is. But it's like, it's crazy. But over time, I think guys have the ability to kind of tap into and understand a little bit of it. Yeah. Let's see. She said Kohberger did not understand what mansplaining meant, but disagreed that he was engaging in that fashion. She said the exchange made her upset and uncomfortable and left her not wanting to interact any further with Kohberger. She would explain she filed a written email complaint to the WSU Civil Rights and Compliance Group. I mean, look at these people. They sent these all in. Regarding the mansplaining incident. She said her goal was to create documentation of the incident should further issues arise. She knew some other person spoke to Kohberger about his behavior, but nothing further came of the incident. Probably the head of the department or something. She said she did not interact with Kohberger outside the campus setting, with exception of a party at an apartment he attended for an exception of a party at somebody's apartment he attended for an hour. I think that's the one he showed up late. She recalled another department gathering at Paradise Creek Brewery. She said Kohberger had a bottle of wine to himself and seemed to focus his attention on the female server. I bet he didn't say, "Hey, your eyes look like a lizard." She did not share any social media with Kohberger, but said Kohberger often referred to the Wazoo Reddit page. She never had direct text with Kohberger, just the GroupMe chat for the cohort. She recognized a change in behavior by Kohberger by getting up and leaving class more often in the weeks leading up to Thanksgiving break. Kohberger would get up to get a cup of coffee, which she explained was highly inappropriate for a graduate student to behave this way. She spoke of Kohberger constantly wearing a puffy down coat, including during classes lasting several hours. See, I wonder if this is all after Thanksgiving, or even leading up to Thanksgiving, right? Because the murders happened on the 13th. If he was hiding something, on his arms, something like that. All right, you guys, we're currently at we're about 14 channel memberships short. Hey, look at it, it's Zozo. Are you back now, or? I sent you messages, you never respond to them, though. Yet he told someone else he didn't understand why people drink. Yeah, we need about 14 more channel memberships to reach the goal. Who are you talking to, Nicholas? Nobody even knows what you're talking about. No, jeez. Okay, hold on. All right, see you later. Don't have time for people like Nicholas in here. You've been blocked from the channel. Gosh, just because I had a different opinion. What an idiot. Oh, she got sick over there? That sucks. Any chance we can try to reach that goal tonight, though, you guys? Let's see. She said she did not interact with Kohberger outside the campus. Yeah, other than that party. She did not share any social media with Kohberger, but said Kohberger often referred to the Wazoo Reddit page. Okay, we did that. She recognized a change. Yeah, so there was something about often in the week leading up to Thanksgiving break. So that was the week after the homicide. Kohberger would get up and get a cup of coffee, which she explained was highly inappropriate for a graduate student to behave this way. She spoke of Kohberger constantly wearing a puffy down coat, including during classes lasting several hours. Well, that's kind of weird, right? Hey, thanks, Anonymous. There's one of them. What do you guys think? Let me do a poll on that one. Right there. I think he did. I think he wore the long sleeve shirt. I think even in the one when he got back. Who the hell would... You know that white dress shirt he was wearing when he does his thumbs up? I bet he had scratches on his arms. And I think by the time he drove home, they probably weren't very visible anymore. Well, it's good to have you back in here, Zozo. But look at the percentage up there. 30-something no. Are those all the Kohbergers or what? I mean, I think that's like almost obvious that that's what he was doing. She said even in the middle of class he would wear these jackets. And then this other lady said she saw scratches on his hands. I don't know. I guess if you wore them all the time before. I don't know if you... Foundation. Hey, thanks Marcy for gifting a membership. See, never had direct text with Kohberger. She did not share any... Let me see, did I just come from up here? Would get up and get it. Yeah, okay, then right here. Spoke of Kohberger constantly wearing puffy down coat. She never saw Kohberger with anyone she believed was his friend. She stated Kohberger never made friends. Kohberger confided in her in November that he wished he was in a relationship. I mean, you gotta admit, like, he's very similar to Elliot Rodger, you know? She said Kohberger expressed interest in female members of the cohort, but nothing materialized. She said Kohberger flirted with a woman until he learned she was married. She said there was a tally board in her office memorializing the number of times Kohberger was late to class. So these are other people that have that same tally board. And one to show the number of times Kohberger makes discriminating comments and behaviors to the cohort members. So they're actually have a tally board. You know, it's just, you gotta admit, like, that is... So that means he's like this high level of, you know, just creepiness factor where all the people in there are counting and, you know, trying to figure out what, you know, like detailing what this guy's doing. It's weird. She noticed that following Thanksgiving break, Kohberger was very quiet. So after Thanksgiving break. And he didn't go home. He stayed there the whole time. Wonder what he did for Thanksgiving. You know what I mean? Like, did he just sit around? Let's see. In the week leading up to Christmas break, the department held a Christmas party. She held the party, or somebody held the party, and a conversation with Kohberger regarding classes. She was taking left with the, let's see, classes. So somebody was taking left, so-and-so with the impression he would be returning for spring semester. She said she saw Kohberger with injuries to his left hand. See? And that's the thing. Okay, so that's what I was trying to tell you guys. Here, let me look at this. I'll show you. I don't know if what I'm looking at is, yeah, this picture right here. See, I think this is a selfie, right? Now, did law enforcement flip it? Because if they didn't, he's holding the phone with his left hand. Right? So this would be his right hand here. If you flip it over horizontally. I wonder if they have that. I don't know if they have it, if you can flip it horizontally in this particular program, but I know you can do it in Photoshop. Yeah, we had a whole bunch of like the old time freaks showing up this week. Zozo was crazy. The whole time you were gone, they all came back in. That must mean something. Let's see. Yeah, I think it was over Christmas when he was doing the downloads. See, I actually think that might be the real picture right there. That's what the actual orientation is, right? I think this might be it. Because most of the time you don't flip, law enforcement doesn't flip a selfie. And if he took a selfie, then this is his right hand, and the left hand is what's holding the phone. And wouldn't that be interesting? Because that's the one that's 50% chance, but usually you use the hand, I don't know, don't you normally use your dominant hand when you take a selfie picture? I wish there was some mark or something on his face where we could see. Maybe the eyebrow. See how it's like not as thick? Let me see. Yeah, I mean, actually the direction of his hair kind of goes that way, left. And then this one, it looks like it kind of goes over. The little short, low side is right there. So I don't know. Maybe they did flip it around. Let me see if I can find other shots of him. Yeah, see how it's like right there is over here. And I'm sure this isn't reverse. So maybe law enforcement did flip it around. I don't know. I'm just, I like to, even if I debunk myself, I'll debunk myself. I really don't care. It's just getting the correct information. So it looks like this side would be where the part is. Right over there. But who knows? I mean, I guess we aren't going to get to know unless law enforcement gives us the original image. Because sometimes people change the side that they parted on, but not normally. It's not like a normal thing to do. I don't think we know if he is. All right, guys, we're still, way short. We need another. Let's see, what are we at? We need 13 more channel memberships, and that will get us right to where I'll donate 5 memberships, but like right on the edge. I mean, like it's just nicks it there. That's what Lee said. Does it make me weird? Hey, how come that's not showing up over there? Hold on a second. Let me get this live chat overlay. It's going to be dark for a second. There it is. Does it make me weird that I love that it's his incompetence that got him caught? I love that he'll have to live with his incompetence until the end. Yeah, well, that's why I wish more people believed that he left the knife sheath there intentionally. I mean, you can live with the fact that you got in a battle with somebody and your knife sheath fell off on a bed. But man, could you imagine if you left it there intentionally? Thought he cleaned it really well, merely missing a spot on the underside of the button snap. And that's what led to it. That means absolute incompetence, and it's his, him thinking he was smarter than everybody else, that he was going to leave a little clue, but with no way for them to determine where it came from, and that didn't work out. Oh yeah, that's a good way to look at it. The nose, because it crooks the other. Yeah. So it kind of looks like it crooks to the left in that one, right? But I think the part of the hair was probably going to be accurate. Let's see. Well, on this one, it looks perfectly normal. It's straight. It's not deviated. Look at that. Looks like it's straight as an arrow. But they do some cosmetic surgery on the guy? I don't know if it's deviated. I think he just has a bump right here. It's just straight though. His nose. Weirdly. Welcome, UDIA. I don't think it was deviated. It looks like it's straight. He just has a bump on his nose. Right, yeah, he did a nose job. He shaved his nose, because those are all things people talked about. Ferengi. I don't know. I guess we'll figure out. Most of the time, selfies are backwards and people don't correct it. There's no way for us to actually tell in that image. She said there was a tally board. Yep. She noticed that following Thanksgiving break, Kohberger was very quiet. She felt Kohberger must have realized his behavior was being accounted for, and this was causing his lack of engagement. In the week leading up to Christmas break, the department held a Christmas party. She held the party and a conversation with Kohberger regarding classes. She was taking, left something. Oh yeah, she was taking. Okay, let me say it again. She held the party and a conversation with Kohberger regarding classes she was taking left her with the impression he would be returning this spring. She said she saw Kohberger with injuries to his left hand while in class. She sat to Kohberger's left 3 feet away from him, and during a class following Thanksgiving break, she had a clear vision of his left hand. No thanks. Describing the injury as bruised knuckles. The redness was halfway up the back of his left hand from his knuckle. And he had cut he had a cut in his ring finger knuckle. Wow. That almost makes it seem like he's left-handed. I guess if you're using a knife, except he's got the guard on there. I don't know how his hand would slide down that. The redness was halfway up the back of his left hand from his knuckles and had a cut on his ring finger knuckle. Kohberger had told her he was a boxer. She said Kohberger did not try to hide the injured hand. Yeah, so that's sort of interesting. Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about, Mike. The pen mugshot? What the hell is that? Alright. I like your idea of what side it buttons on. Alright. So let's see. What side of a shirt are the button holes normally on a dress shirt? I like that one. I don't know what you're talking about, the other shit though. On a standards men dress shirt, button holes are typically located on the left side. So that means this is, you have to flip it back if that's the standard. Because that would be the buttonholes on that side, and the buttons are on the right side, and that's coming up through that side. So that means they flipped it already for us, right? I mean, that's kind of how his hair is right there. I mean, there's a part. See how there's like a low part there, and then it goes back there. And you can see in these images here, that's what I was looking at a few minutes ago, where I kind of debunked myself.
Yeah, it didn't really...
Ah, jeez. God. Sensationalism at its finest. Yeah, so right there, see how it's kind of like, that's where the little part is. And even on this one, it's lower over there, and it goes higher on the left. So, yeah, okay, well, I guess they reversed it out. So, he's holding with his right hand, so apparently there is... I mean, you don't see any cuts here, right? So if she said he had cuts on the knuckle of his ring finger, well, there's no cut there, and there's nothing over here, right? So that means he would have had to have done it after this. Now, people think he put makeup on his hand, and I think then we're getting kind of absurd at that point where, you know, getting to a point where now we're trying to make something match something. I think he took this picture and there's no cuts on that hand, and that's the hand she said, right? We just showed it. We just showed the knuckle. Oh, you mean the knuckle that's curved under? Well, that is interesting, because people mentioned that. Some people thought that black thing is something. You can never tell, though. I mean, look at all these other black things. But that's in a weird place, so maybe that is a Band-Aid or something on the edge of that knuckle. You know, who the hell knows? I mean, it's odd that there's blackness there, given that it's turning and it's not in the gap of something. It's just right at the end there, and that is the ring finger. All right, you guys, we're still woefully short here. We're just trying to reach the goals. We need 10 more channel memberships. All right. Got a lot of names in white in here that we could gift memberships to. Maybe they'll stick around. Yeah, that's what I said. Maybe it's a Band-Aid. Yeah. I mean, people have said that, and it's hard. I just look at these pictures, and they're so pixelated when you zoom in that it's hard to say. But I mean, if you take a second look, these darkness, that makes sense, because it's in a, you know, two fingers connected, and then it gets dark between them. This darkness here does not make sense. I mean, if that darkness was right there, it would make sense. For example, like I could take, where's that clone? This clone stamp here, and grab like this little spot right here. See that? And I could put it right there, and that would actually look normal. See that? You'd look at that and you go, okay, yeah, it's just the darkness between the fingers, right? That wouldn't bother anybody. But this one over here is weird because it's at the end of, it's like it's away from the shirt because it's a bent knuckle, and it's a darkness that really shouldn't be there because there's nothing to create the darkness naturally if you had a hand. So there's got to be some other item there, maybe. Now that we're taking a second look at this, it may be that that darkness is caused by something on his hand that made darkness, a shadow, you see? And maybe that is a Band-Aid or something. And that would match what that lady said. And so maybe you're right that it's the next knuckle. The next one up, the middle knuckle. And that's actually on the hand here, it's this one right here. That would be the one. And that's actually the typical knuckle that you do cut sometimes when your hand slips on a knife blade or something, and usually on the inside of the knuckle. Thank you. That's what Lee said. With the nails, I don't know. Yeah. I don't know. Well, where the I mean, that's the thing about the sheath. Again, like you come in with a sheath and then you're stabbing and then you have the sheath in your hand. You need your other hand to grab somebody and do something, So I don't really understand. That's why, I mean, for me, it's just, it doesn't make any sense that he even brought it into the house. We've already talked about it, Janet. We've gone over it 100 times already, Janet. I thought it was a selfie that you had to flip it, but we've just gone over it. The buttons of the shirt are on the correct side as it is. The part on his hair is on the right side, the correct side as it is. So we just went over it for 20 minutes, Janet. My God. Unbelievable. I mean, you just show up and you said that? We just went over it for 20-something minutes. I thought, I agreed with you, though, Janet. I said the same thing. I thought it was a selfie that was flipped. But I don't mind finding, I just want the answer, okay? I just try to figure out the answer. And if my original guess isn't right, who cares? I don't know what the answer is on that one. I guess, anything's still possible. Maybe he has a weird shirt that's backwards. I didn't really ask you, Ginger. Let's see. Yeah, people say that they notice that, Teresa, because they want to pretend that they're seeing something. Just because people on social media say that his knuckles are swollen, doesn't mean that they're swollen. I think it looks to me like he's gripping ridiculously hard to do a thumbs up, like he's squeezing his hand together. I don't see any swelling. I don't see anything like that. I don't see any swelling in the time when he's pulled over by the cops. But I think a lot of people just need there to be something. Ooh, look we noticed something. Ooh, we're onto something. And they bring it up. So it doesn't matter that other people said it. We don't know if his hand's swollen. You know, but taking a second look at that here after all this time, that little darkness there is a little interesting, isn't it? Thank you, brown-eyed girl. She has never been in Kohberger's apartment or car. She said Kohberger had told the cohorts he wanted to be a university professor. She stated with a chuckle. He really liked to teach people things. She said Kohberger genuinely tried and wanted to be friends with people. I think I would, man, I don't know if I could be a professor. I would be so frustrated, you know. Let's see. She said Kohberger genuinely tried and wanted to be friends with people, but he did not know how. She explained Kohberger was argumentative, and she was not furthering the distance between them. She reiterated Kohberger's uninvited visits to her office to include Kohberger sitting at a seat directly next to her desk, leaving her stuck talking to him. She said Kohberger did not share information about his personal life. The audio recording of the interview was saved to a disc. All right. Yeah, that's crazy times. Looney Tunes. Let's see, what do we got here? You get a night off and Natalie. Tell people to get the hell out of class. Yeah, I would. Well, listen, you guys, I had a teacher. He was like me. And guess what? Guess what the teacher's name was? Go ahead. I had a teacher in grade school. Not grade school. Let's see. No, it was like I was in high school, and it was a computer class. So, what do you think his name was? Go ahead. What was his name? Like, give me, like, what would you call him? Hey, Mr. Kohberger. You guys are crazy, man. Yeah, his name was Mr. Gray. Can you believe that? His name was Mr. Gray. Can you freaking believe it? All right, so this is how he would do it. He'd come walk into the room. If you answered the question, if he'd ask you a question and you said you don't know, he would look right at you and say, "Get out of here." And he'd talk like this gangster guy. He'd say, "Get out of here and come back tomorrow or something." He'd just kick you right out of class. And he would say, he said, if you don't know the answer to a question, just say 11. And so if you didn't know the answer to the question and you said 11, he would just chuckle away. He would think it was funnier than hell, man. He would just laugh. It was awesome. So you say 11 and he'd look at you like, all right, you got it, man. At least you said it, came up with an answer. You didn't say, I don't know. Hey, thanks, Sandy Shirley. But then sometimes he would come into class after you turned something. He'd go like this. He'd walk around like a gangster. He'd point at everybody and he'd go, Ty, Tom, get out of here and start working on the program. The rest of you take out a piece of paper, and the first question goes like this. He was something else, man. I love that guy though. He's the one that actually taught me a little bit about physics and shit. He was good. Get out of here. So sometimes when he said get out of here, it was good because he was sending you to the lab to work on some programming. And there's other times you were just kind of kicked out of class for saying, I don't know. Hey, thanks Lexi Staff and Kim. Very cool, very cool. All right, only 7 more to go. No, we need 7. I'm looking at the number over here. Well, yeah, it's... What am I... Oh, wow, that was weird. I was looking at my other screen, and it's way behind. I'm pointing at my finger. Yeah, we can look all over the place. All right, let's look at his thumb, everybody. That looks swollen. I don't know. It looks like he's just turning it. How do anybody know what somebody else's hand looks like swollen? That might be what it looks like. I don't know if that's swollen or not. It looks like he's gripping so hard, like, you know, like as hard as you can. You know. Do you think it looks swollen right there? I don't know, man. I mean, it's okay if you believe it. I just think, I mean, the fact that he has white knuckles here means he literally gripped the living hell out of it. Hey, look at that. Wow, Lisa Valenzuela, Sandy Shirley. And what is that, one more now? Yeah, we just need one more, and then I'll donate 5 memberships myself to some of these freaks, and we'll have 25. That's pretty good. He was mad Kaylee was there. Yeah, I mean, here's... I think Kohberger was stalking the house for a long time. I think he... I'm starting to believe he actually went into the house on other occasions, and I think those are one of those 3 other times that he completely turned off. Hey, Zozo, when you were gone, you probably didn't hear some of this stuff, but like he turned off his let's see, he turned off his phone. Not just like he turned it off, he turned off his Wi-Fi, he turned off everything, so that there was no way of any kind of tracing at all going on. Hey, thanks. That's what Lee said. And I think, and he did that 4 times, and including the night of the murder. So there was 3 other times where he turned it off completely. And I think on another night that he may have went into the house, he completely turned it off. And you would do that because they might have checked cell tower stuff, and you'd see that there's this random phone in the middle of this house on a night. And so he didn't have it turned on. So it wouldn't shock me at all if he did go into the house on another occasion, maybe at like 3 in the morning. And he knew when they weren't around either. So he probably hung out there. You know, for example, on Saturday nights, there's usually a party at a fraternity house or something. All right? Or a sorority. They all go to a fraternity. So he would probably sit in the back of that house and look through the windows and watch Madison get dressed or Kaylee get dressed or whatever, however you want to look at it. And he saw that they were all leaving. So he would monitor when they were leaving the house, and he would watch for a while and see that there was nobody in there. And then he would maybe go into the house, and his phone's not on this whole time. Then he goes into the house, and then on other evenings when he's not going into the house doing anything nefarious, he thought in his mind, then he didn't mind having his phone on. But maybe he went in there and on those times to get the layout and just kind of look around. Just a theory. And so that night he obviously circles around 4 times. He gets there for the 4th. Well, I mean, there's so many just so interesting things that we've learned here. Because remember, he goes in there for the 2nd pass and he leaves at around 3:39. And I think he would have came back in at 4:45-ish. But that's exactly when the DoorDash driver pulled in. It was 3:46, excuse me. 3:45 is what I was trying to say. So at 3:46, the DoorDash driver pulls in, and he sees that that's there every time he's driving by. So he does not come back into the area. And then he drives around, and then I think when she moved her car to the back, see, isn't that interesting? I think she drove her car to the front right as Kohberger was driving around, and he didn't see that. Because he pulls in, and he's feeling okay at like 3:57, and then she moves down to the front parking lot while he's driving around the back, and then when he's driving by there, he sees the light on again, the vehicle there. So then he leaves quickly, and then he goes back up and does a U-turn, and then that's when she's actually leaving in the car. She leaves in the car, I think, 30 seconds after he passes King Road. She leaves in the car. Then he drives all the way around for the... he got absolutely nailed on the Ridge Road camera because of the DoorDash driver. She drives all the way around, and then... he drives all the way around, and then at 4:04 he comes back in, and now she's not there. So now he feels, okay, I'm going in, but he knows, okay, there's lights on, there was some movement around, Xana's moving or something. So he does that U-turn behind 500 Queen Road and then drives back in front, and he's looking, he tries to stop or turn around right by 1112 King Road, and then he goes and does another 3-point turn, and this time, and he drives by, and he looks one last time, and boom! He goes for it now. And he goes into the house. He goes upstairs into Madison Mogan's room first. They say maybe he checked Kaylee's room. Who knows? Went into Madison's room. And when he was in there, he was probably surprised to see that Kaylee was on the bed. He probably killed Madison really quickly. Maybe Kaylee said, hey, there's somebody here! Right? And that's maybe what alerted Xana to go up there. And then he killed both of them. And they were obviously both dead before Xana came up there, right? Because if he had taken off chasing her, they would still be alive, right? But he was already killed them, so maybe Xana took 30 seconds or so, or 40 seconds to get up there, and then when she gets up, she sees him, and then she's like, oh shit, and then they run down the stairs, and that's the stuff that Kaylee hears. They run down the stairs, and they run towards the room, and I think he's already swinging the... he may have already stabbed her. If there's blood evidence on that short wall that we've been looking at, that I showed in that video that I put the other day, right here, there was blood all over this wall, and on this wall, way over here. There was, so that means he was swinging like cast off. And, man, he was chasing her. And then there was a pong table right here. That had blood on it. And so that means he was either already stabbing her, or there was blood on the knife that from killing Kaylee and Madison, and then he was zinging the blood all over the place. It's just, it's brutal. But anyways, he chases down in there, and I think he got her in the room, and I think he made a quick lunge over to Ethan and punctured his carotid artery first. Then he dispatched Xana, probably, and then went over and cut the hamstring or whatever of Ethan, so he couldn't chase her. In case he happened to not die, he could maybe get up and do something. And then after that, the dog's barking, and he's getting the hell out of there. And as he's leaving, Dylan Mortensen sees him right there. That's where she's standing. Goes around the corner here. That's the kitchen. I mean, she obviously didn't have the door open like I just showed you there, but so that's it right there. He's walking by. There's the shot. See the eyebrow with the balaclava and the black, and then he takes off, and she can see him go through the kitchen. Obviously, the lights were a hell of a lot brighter. That we know now that it was pretty light in there. People could see things. And then he goes outside. And you can hear the dogs bark. And I think Xana said something like, what are you doing? Get out of here. Something like that. And then, the dog's barking. And then they're dead, obviously. And then he leaves, goes outside, and then goes to his car. But he doesn't leave for a long time. I mean, if you guys, a lot of you probably haven't seen this part of the timeline here. But, look at it right here. See, at 4:18, Kohberger leaves the residence. That's what I have. They say before 4:19, so I'm not off here by much. We could probably make that 4:18:30 just to, And it matches the audio well. And then all of a sudden, look at this. At 4:19, Bethany calls Dylan, and Dylan's talking to her on the phone for a moment. That means Dylan felt safe. So that means Kohberger had left already. She wouldn't be on the phone if she knew there was somebody else lurking in the house. Then at 4:20, Dylan calls Xana, and then at 4:20 and 28 seconds, Dylan Mortensen calls Bethany Funk for 41 seconds. And then in the middle of that phone call, that's when Kohberger takes off at a high rate of speed. And then Bethany Funk calls Xana, and then at 4:21:05, Kohberger's vehicle is on Willanta Drive heading south. So he's like, look how much time there is. 4:18 to 4:20 and 47 seconds. That's 2 minutes and 15 seconds. And based on the timing we read about yesterday, he could have got to his car in 30 seconds. So that means for a minute and a half, he was obviously doing some blood spatter mitigation. All right, well, we reached the goal, you guys. So if you're out there and you want to help support the channel, make us get further ahead than some of the other nights that we get sometimes, that would be awesome. Maybe you guys can match my 5 too. And I'm just trying to get ahead. We had a couple days this month that were less than stellar. But there you go. I gifted to 5 different people there: Karina Gilbert, Soretti, Cyril, Mama, Rebecca Wilson, and M. Barbarossa Stolen Spirits. Alright. So there's that. Well, let's get back to the... Was it this one? Yeah. She was advised the interview was regarding, first met Kohberger at the beginning of the fall of 2022 semester, sometime around August 15th, 2022, in, Criminology 205. I mean, who the hell knows what the number is? She described the layout of the classroom. A 45 to 50 person classroom, which would be arranged for the crime class by putting desks in a circle to encourage discussion. She estimated the class consisted of 10 to 15 graduate students. The class was held on Wednesday from 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. She estimated the semester was over and classes finished around December 9th, 2022. She stated the seating was not arranged, but once students established a seat at the beginning of the semester, they would usually sit in the same seats. She stated she was one of the last people to get to the classroom, and Kohberger would similarly show up late. Due to this, she usually ended up sitting directly to the right of Kohberger during class. The professor's name was so-and-so. She stated most of the students in the class seemed to know each other from other classes. She provided an email list of all students who attended the class. The students' names were as follows. She would interact with Kohberger during class occasionally, but did not have any problems personally with him. She described one bizarre incident which stuck out in his memory. He described the he described the incident as occurring within the first few weeks of class. So this is a he in this one? Oh, this is a he. Never mind. I keep saying she. Are you grumpy tonight, Udia? You seem like it. The rest of us feel pretty good. This is just a normal night. But if you're grumpy, yeah, just let us know. We'll try to cheer you up. Yeah, well, that's just the minimum goal there, Timothy. See, the problem with when you have a goal and then you reach it and everybody goes up, then there's never a night where you make up for the other nights, you see. So sometimes they just have a goal to try to get to a goal, but if we have people that want to continue to support the channel tonight, it'd be great. Like I said, it's all, like the end of the month is, believe it or not, we're already past the halfway mark. Doesn't it just seem like days fly by now? Like the older you get, time just flies by. I mean, I remember it was halfway through the month a month ago, but a month ago to me seems like 10 minutes ago. Yeah, I mean, so it's great to reach the minimum goal But if we reached the minimum goal every single night of the month, we wouldn't be able to donate money to, and that's all it was. We wouldn't be able to donate anything. Because that's only 7,000 total for the entire channel if that's what we were doing. That's why I have to do the videos to make up the difference. Yeah, I think the older you get, the quicker time goes by. My mom came up with something that seemed pretty smart. I've told you guys this before, but like, you know, when you're a baby, and then, you know, the first year is your entire life. And then the second year is half your life. And the third year is a third, quarter. And then, you know, you start getting up into your 40s and 50s. It's like, okay, 50 is 1/50th. And I was like, okay, so that's not very much. So time goes by quicker when you're young. Time is so slow. It's just like, you know, the summer lasts forever, it seems like. The school year takes forever. Yeah. I don't know what you're talking about, BMS. But yeah, if you're watching the channel and you'd still like to help support the channel, that'd be great. It adds, you know, energy, flow to the show, because we've still got another hour to go here. Let's see. She stated most of the students in the class seem to know each other. Okay, and knew each other from other classes. She provided an email list. Okay, she would interact with Kohberger during class occasionally, but did not have any problems personally with him. She described one bizarre incident which stuck out in his memory. So this is a he. I keep saying she because all of them, most of the time, they're she's. He described the incident as occurring with the first few weeks of class between Kohberger and somebody else. He described how he was stating something in class and Kohberger was attempting to correct her. Wait, she described how Wait. He described how this other girl was stating something in class and Kohberger was attempting to correct her. He described Kohberger as over-explaining things. Maybe that's mansplaining. To this girl, then told Kohberger he was mansplaining. Oh, there you go. Man-explaining everything to her, and she understood what he was trying to say. Kohberger then went on to explain that he was not man-explaining and started to define what man-explaining was. Due to this interaction, the girl left the classroom during the middle of class without taking her laptop or coffee. He described the incident as her and Kohberger bickering and debating that turned very tense. On one occasion, he and Kohberger had a conversation just outside the classroom, which was about the classroom topics. During that discussion, that person mentioned he needed to get heading home to make dinner for his fiancée. Kohberger, or this is the he again, Kohberger replied something to the effect of, "You look really happy to be doing that. Most guys I know hate making food for their women." Really? He found that weird. I don't think men hate making something for a woman, right? I mean, that's stupid. Hate making food for their women, or their women. He found that to be weird. He described Kohberger as the black sheep of the cohort and very to himself. He described his relationship with Kohberger as more than acquaintances but less than friends. He stated He did not talk to Kohberger about many personal topics. He did not have much information about Kohberger's personal life. Oh, gotta end that poll there. All right. So this is a... Oh yeah. Alright, there you go. There's the small goal at the top there. Just for the next 30 minutes. See if we can do it. Then we'll do 30 more minutes. By the way, this is what the YouTube rep lady, that's what they say to do, is do like these intermittent goals to unlock things. So I'm trying to do it. I don't know if it works or not, but there's a small little goal thing at the top of the screen there. Let's see if we can do it. Alright, going on to the next one. And then if we get to 3 in 30 minutes, if we're not there, then that'll be it. Let's see, this one is, she had one class with Kohberger. That class was the fall, beginning of December 2022 on Tuesday from 2:10 to 5. She stated the students were in the first year cohort. Stated she was the only student enrolled in the class who was something, the professor was something, I don't know. She stated seating in the classroom was not assigned and students would sit where they want. She stated at the beginning of the semester the students would sit close together, but as the semester went on, the students were spacing out in the classroom. She stated she believed the reason for the students spacing out was to distance themselves from Kohberger. Jeez. She stated Kohberger would often interject himself in conversations with so-and-so. Stated her office was across the hall from this other person's office, and she would purposely leave their office door open to give them a place to go in case Kohberger would go into their office. Jeez. She stated that after the murders, she did not notice anything out of the ordinary with Kohberger. I mean, you would think somebody at the school might have noticed him getting into a white Elantra and put 2 and 2 together, but I guess not. She stated she did not have any interactions with Kohberger where he was rude or disrespectful to her. She also stated she had not witnessed any harassment, so she did not fill out the CCR harassment report when it was provided. For details of the interview, see the audio recording. So that was a shorter one. No goal takers. Well, they never feature my channel. It's not even, it doesn't do any good either. It's just, you know, it is what it is. Man. It's got a small goal at the top of the screen, guys. Let's see if we can get it. We'll open up the last 30 minutes. Had to hear and see more than she's saying. I think she saw the entire... Who cares, Ron? What if she did? What does it have to do with anything? I think you're full of shit, though. She didn't go upstairs and see the full thing. She would have called 911 if she'd seen that. She would have freaked out and ran out of the house. Okay, Ron? You're just incorrect. Your comments are embarrassing. All right? I'm just letting you know there. That show a lack of reasoning and cognitive ability. Very low sort of ability to think. All right? That's ridiculous. Let's see. Yeah, those are just $5. We need 5 5s. She agreed to the interview being recorded. The recording was downloaded to CD and provided to Moscow Police Department Evidence Section. And let's see. Well, it is. It's crazy to come up and say, I think she saw the second floor exchange, yet she did nothing. That's just you being a wacko Kohberger type. I mean, nobody talks like that. She didn't see the whole exchange. If she'd seen the whole exchange, she would have been freaked out, and she would have known what happened. It's crazy. Let's see. She agreed to be interviewed, being recorded. The recording was downloaded. Okay, what's this one? Hey, there's one by Art and Design Studios. Need 4 more of those. Well, I don't have anything against Ron Hendricks. I'm just saying it's this crazy comment. You know? I mean, it's ridiculous. Why did you come up with that? It's not called the truth, Ron. It's called ludicrous. Your comment was ludicrous. There's no truth in there. It's your opinion based on nothing. Okay? Hey, welcome. Jody Anita. With all that's going on, Dylan had to hear and see more than she's saying. I think she heard. She was really drunk, though. She probably heard a hell of a lot more. But she didn't see anything. And you said, I think she saw the entire second floor exchange, yet she did nothing? I mean, that's irresponsible. That's an irresponsible comment to make. Because what you're doing is fueling the same people who hate them. There's no reason to hate Dylan or Bethany or any of those other people. Okay? That's what I'm trying to say. I think it's ridiculous, that statement there. And I'm going to say it regardless if you're a channel member or anything. I do not care at all. Everybody's treated the same. It doesn't matter. If you feel like, oh, I'm leaving Gray, I'm never watching again, then bye-bye. I'm not going to deal with those kind of comments like that. You know, you might even say, boy, you know, I wonder if she saw more. But your last comment about, and she didn't call? You know, that's where it's overboard, because now you're trying to sell that story, and it's just bullshit, okay? Well, she claims that they saw each other. He didn't kill her because he was trying to get the hell out of there. Yeah. You can just tell Dylan was freaked out. And even that morning, she thought we just read her whole narrative yesterday, and it makes sense. And if you can't see it, then, you know, I'm sorry. It just shows a lack of reasoning ability. Thank you, Deidre Gambrel. All right. Very kind, very Hey, you got the little lemon laughing face. I like that one. I'm never watching again. Ooh. But Brian was hanging outside with Murphy. How do we know what he was doing? The dog was barking, 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 barking. He was over at his car. And what does that even mean? But Brian, what do you mean, but Brian was hanging? What's the but? You know, when people say but, you're reversing what somebody else said. Mm-hmm. Yeah, just look at when she was doing her impact statement. Yeah, I know the second floor. That's Xana's room. It's just incorrect, Ron. Okay? Because what you're saying is, your opinion is that she saw the whole thing, the battle between Kohberger and Xana Kernodle, and she should have called police. Yes, I agree with you. If she'd seen that, she should have called police. But there's no evidence at all that she saw that. That's you just injecting a theory and pretending it's fact, and then asking a question at the end. I just think that's irresponsible, man. You got to be a little bit better than that. That's just not good. We don't do that over here. Unless there's a reason to believe it. There isn't. She'd open her door and then she'd shut her door. She'd look out. She didn't see anything because after the people would run by, they'd be around the corner. She'd open her door, hear something, not see anything. I bet she heard. I think what she heard was horrific sounding, but she wasn't sure what it meant because they always have parties. People are moving around. You can. I don't know. I don't know how many times I got to explain this to people. It sucks. All right, so what is that? 1, 2, 3. Yeah, we need 2 more of those. Even though the numbers only got 1, that's the 10 is actually 2 of those. So we need 2 more of those. We'll call that good. Yeah, my nose is getting plugged up. Right, but you have a theory, and it's an irresponsible one because there's no evidence, and you're spewing out information that creates hate towards 2 girls that don't deserve any hate. See, because what you're doing is you're doing what the ancient alien shit is, right? Your first supposition is completely without merit and has a very low chance of being true. And then you base a comment on that by saying, and she didn't call 911? As if like your original statement was without a doubt true. And it's not. So, it's very close to what ancient aliens do. I know, I just keep saying the same thing. Yeah, it's okay, Ron. Come on, man. You can be better. You're better than that, aren't you? I mean, to actually start like bashing her at the end of the sentence because you assume that she heard and saw way more, and she didn't call 911. You said she saw everything, and then you even say, man, and she didn't call 911, like it was a truth. I mean, I think if you'd left that last sentence out, I could probably go, I don't know. I mean, we could argue like, oh, she didn't see something. Anyways. Oh, shit. I don't know. Okay, here's another one here. She referred to a specific time in late October or early November where after class, Kohberger offered to give her a ride home in his white Elantra. Why'd they have to cut out Elantra? Like, she noted this event as he spent nearly 3 hours in conversation with Kohberger. She stated he was cautious when forming friendships or relationships with fellow students. He was concerned to ensure he was able to work closely with someone over the time of the graduate program. As a result of this caution, he took time to observe and analyze interactions with others. She commented, he noted Kohberger would deliberately socially engineer his conversation and talking points to ingratiate himself with a group. He specifically noted this with regard to Kohberger's discussing sports. When she indicated he had no interest in sports, Kohberger moved to stating he had little interest in sports either. See, that's Kohberger. He doesn't really have a true self. Like, he doesn't even know who he is. He doesn't know have an emotion. He doesn't have anything. So he adapts. And, he'll smile when somebody else smiles. Although I thought it was interesting when he got pulled over in that new video that we saw when he got pulled over, that he laughed at an appropriate time, like it seemed normal. But I think in general he just sort of copies and mimics because he doesn't know what those feelings are like. And maybe that's a little bit of, the autism, or the, if he has some other thing. Don't really know, but he's smiling because you're smiling. He doesn't like sports because, he knows that you don't like sports, so now he wants to be like you. During the conversation, which was conducted in Kohberger's car in the parking lot and the parking space outside her home, Kohberger said, so I guess he gave her a ride home. Kohberger said he had no one to really have guy talks with, and briefly talked about women and dating, noting Kohberger said he could pick up any woman he wanted in bars and clubs. She noted he felt the inference was Kohberger did not view value in women and saw them more as articles. See, that's just exactly the same as Elliot Rodger. You remember how he talked? He'd be like, I think I should be able to have one. Like they are just an object, like a pet. It's crazy. All right, you guys, we only got a few more minutes. We need to get those, I think it's 2 more of that little goal at the top of the screen that'll unlock the final half hour. Pick up any woman he wanted in bars and clubs. He said he felt he was verbally kidnapped, and he felt like he was verbally kidnapped as Kohberger continued to want to. What do you mean he felt? So this is another he this whole time? Let's see. No, it is a he. Wait, he commented, he noted Kohberger. Oh, so it is a he. This is a guy. So he's giving it right. That's why he's talking about he could date anybody. I was wondering what the hell he was doing. Okay, he did not view value in women and saw them more than articles. He said he felt like he was verbally kidnapped as Kohberger continued to want to talk, describing the scenario as a 3-hour conversation and a 5-minute journey. Kohberger moved the conversation to social media and its impact on societal issues. To this end, they discussed how people align themselves within social media bubbles, which became echo chambers. Kohberger discussed politics and indicated he had predominantly conservative household values wherein traditional gender roles applied. Right, I've heard this part before. Hey, thanks, Roger S. That's 4 of those. We just need 1 more. He said in his interactions with Kohberger, he never discussed his home, family, or friends, but did discuss his educational experiences at his previous college. He recalled Kohberger indicated a desire to work with somebody, a professor of forensic psychology. Oh, that's Ransland, probably. Psychology and criminal justice at DeSalles, who had written many notable books and articles on serial killer BTK. She described Kohberger as focused but arrogant. He wanted all his classmates to know he was the smartest guy in the room and wanted to highlight his academic prowess. He said the female members of the class had an innate ability to see things like character traits in people not often recognized by men. Hey, look at that. Diedrich Ambrell, 4 months. Thank you for your 4 months. Man, you got a long journey to go to reach people like Zozo. 68, 70 months. I don't even know what the number is. Let's see. Oh, and there's Diedrich Ambrell again. Thank you. The female members of the class had an innate ability to see things like character traits in people not often recognized by men. Alright, so right now we're at 2:30, so we'll do another 30 minutes of this. Keep going through these. Have you guys heard most of these? I mean, I'm sure every Tom, Dick, and Harry YouTuber has the same files by now. They voiced that Kohberger made them uncomfortable, felt unsafe, and that he was creepy. She said he was close to filing. He said he was close to filing a report to the university regarding Kohberger's behavior in the later part of November of 2022. Wow. But did not, because the report is not anonymous. How stupid is that? He further commented on Kohberger's lack of sleep. Hey, look at Nikki Zubs, 31. All right. A lack of sleep, which he said was very apparent. He was late to lectures and would frequently get up and leave mid-lecture and come back with coffee. Further details of the interview somewhere else. All right. All right. And this is another one. All right. This is an interview with Miss. Somebody was recorded with her knowledge and permission. Miss, she said that she only had one interaction with Kohberger as, I don't know, because beginning in late August 2022, she began receiving complaints. Okay, this is the lady people are complaining to. Because of these complaints, I think that her name's out there. Let's just say Miss Johnson spent a lot of time, she thought at least once a week, speaking about Kohberger during different disciplinary meetings. The meetings focus around Kohberger's interactions. I mean, they're actually, he's taking up so much time of people's thoughts. It's amazing. The meetings focus around Kohberger's interactions with fellow postgraduate students in and out of the classroom, along with the behavior around some of the criminal justice professors. Miss Johnson said that Kohberger appeared to be socially awkward, but then she told us that, in her experience, a lot of academics are socially awkward. However, the various complaints were about how Kohberger spoke to other staff and students. His stating of outspoken disciplinary comments, which were homophobic, ableist, xenophobic, and misogynistic in nature, he would also stare at people and stand uncomfortably close or lean over women, making them very uncomfortable. You know, it is sort of interesting. Now, when you read all of this, doesn't it seem like he might actually be autistic in some way? Because he doesn't seem to, you know, his social cues and things like that, he just doesn't seem to get. But the thing is autistic people actually know what right and wrong is. That's the thing. So it doesn't have any bearing on anything. Miss Johnson brought Kohberger to her office. Let's see. Or when making them very uncomfortable. I wonder how come none of them seem to say that in any of the comments. They act like he's just totally normal. Miss Johnson brought Kohberger to her office to speak to him about the complaints and attempted to get him to correct his behavior. Kohberger's response to this was his deflection of personal responsibility, saying that his comments had been misunderstood, etc. Kohberger indicated to Mrs. Johnson he hoped to continue in the program and his desire to remain in the field of academia. He did tell Miss Johnson that he wished to work under, maybe Ranslin, told us that the field of expertise is in sex offenses, told us that, wow, that he wished to work under a specific professor, and then she told us that her field of expertise is in sex offenses and decision-making processes of offenders. Later that day, I transferred the interview recordings to a compact disc. Okay. All right. Go to the next one. What's a TA? What are you talking about? Oh, a teacher's assistant. We were talking about his mental makeup. I don't know, man. Well, of course he does stuff on purpose, but I think, I don't know. Can't you just tell that he's kind of awkward a little bit? I mean, you know, let's just be honest instead of trying to pretend that, you know. I mean, we just, every single interaction, I mean, even you have nice birthing hips. It's just sort of like his, I don't know. Yeah, definitely he's a psychopath, but he also could be autistic too, right? I mean, he's lacking a lot of stuff. He could be all of those things. I mean, I don't know if he actually is. I mean, it seems like he was diagnosed that way by some people. I mean, not everything the defense does is, you know, fake. Who knows, though, right? I guess we won't get to know. He's never going to say. Right, well, autistic people are socially inept. That's just how they are. They, a lot of times they just don't pick up on the social cues and are completely just... I mean, I dated a woman that had an autistic kid, and that's how he was. Say what, Natalie? Mm-hmm. Yeah, that one was crazy. That one that part that we read the other day. You know, one professor thought he was going to be a predator after he got out. I mean, so it's weird that they weren't more concerned a little bit about the guy. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. He might have thought that sounded normal. The birthing hips comment. He might have thought that was a positive. Who knows? You know, but it's weird if you say that he's autistic. Some people think that somehow, wait, you're siding with Kohberger now. You know, I don't give a shit if he's autistic or not. You know, what he did was systematically plan and kill. Well, he wanted to kill one at least, and I think he ended up killing all the rest just because that's how it was laid out in the house. He's a psychopath. I wonder if that's the thing. Yeah, we all did, Timothy. We all did. Let's see. Yeah, everybody go over quickly. Go over to News Nation, everybody, and go watch that. Let's see. It was called "Can Autistic Yeah, so you can have both. It's possible for an autistic person to also exhibit psychopathic traits. However, these conditions have distinct characteristics and are generally considered separate. But they can be the same. So maybe he's just one of those. That's why they're rare, you know. Wendy Woobles. All right. Yeah, it was actually in one of the articles we read, Timothy Cecil. But yeah, everybody go check it out really quick. Yeah. Cecil likes to always mention these other people to go check out, and then we're trying to do a show. Let's see. Hey, thanks, Wendy Woobles. And Wendy Woobles, did you mean to do that a second time? They're identical. Do you guys mean to do that? Hey, good night, Ginger. A young man who murdered a homeless man in Colorado who was autistic. He was bragging about what he did. Yeah, so does that really make him, what is that guy? Hurry for what? What am I hurrying for? What am I doing? She did 3, I don't know, is your phone glitching out on you there, Wendy Woobles? Oh, yeah, it is finished. It is finished. Yep. Thank you. Thank you. You got us past the finish line there. And then some. Underwent a psych eval ordered by his attorney. Someone made the comment that lots of psychopaths don't murder people either. Well, of course. Yeah. Right. Lots of sociopaths don't murder people. Oh, the confetti? Oh, that one. Oh, we need one more. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, we hardly ever reach the goal at the top of the screen. I made it get to the goal because a gifted membership is $5, so I just kind of added those up. Somebody did 10. But yeah, one more, we'll get the confetti up there. That'd be cool. We don't have state hospitals anymore, but... well, I don't think he seems insane at all, this account. I think he knew exactly what he was doing. I just think he's socially awkward. He's... And maybe that's because maybe he does have... when you look at... Remember Adam Lanza? He kind of has a similar look like that. Just staring, But Adam Lanza took his own life, where Kohberger didn't. See, Kohberger knows exactly what he was doing. He's all about self-preservation. He didn't want to get caught, first of all. And then when he got caught, and then over all these years, he decided to save his own life by accepting a plea deal. See that? Oh my God. Oh, don't do the MK Ultra shit. Oh God, get the hell out. Get that out of there. Oh yeah, Renee? Yeah. Yeah, I did it somebody, their kid was, I think he was more high functioning, but, like I always tell the story about how we went fishing one time and I caught I caught a little 6-inch trout or whatever, and he was next to me and I said, hey, do you want to hold it for a second? And then he grabbed it and he squeezed it to death. Just immediately killed that fish. And that's why I was like, that's weird, It was kind of weird right there. We were just going to let it go, but you squeezed it. The first thing you did was squeeze it as hard as you can and killed it. I don't know if that's just like he wasn't, like I don't know where that came from, what that means or anything. It was just kind of weird. What are you referring to, Natalie? I don't know what you're saying. All right, so we just did another one. 3. Oh wait, that's supposed to be 332. No, wait, 3. We were on the right one. Miss Johnson brought Kohberger to her office to speak to him about the complaints and attempted to get him to correct his behavior. Kohberger's response to this was his deflection of personal responsibility, saying that his comments had been misunderstood. Kohberger indicated to Miss Johnson he hoped to continue the program. Oh yeah, we already read this part, so we're going on to the next 332. All right, here's one. So this might be a student here. So this person met Kohberger when he came into the office to meet with. Shortly thereafter, Kohberger began coming into the office nearly every day to talk. This occurred during business hours. Kohberger's conversations became personal instead of focused on his studies or work as a teacher's assistant. Kohberger had an office downstairs that did not really have a reason to be in her office area. On some days, she would be working alone from 3 p.m. to 5 p.m., which was normal closing hours. Kohberger began coming in there seemingly to talk to her. She would try to focus on her work, but Kohberger would remain whether or not she interacted heavily with him. He would just sit there. On one occasion, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, it's just. On one occasion, she was downstairs and came back to the office to look up. Kohberger was in the office. She informed him that she was not closing the office, and Kohberger walked outside with her. Kohberger asked her if that she was closing the office, and Kohberger walked outside with her. Kohberger asked her if she wanted to get coffee. She declined, saying her girlfriend was here to pick her up. And I don't know if that means she's dating another girl or just a girlfriend, because women refer to girlfriends as girlfriend. Guys never say, hey, my boyfriend's coming over later. I don't know how you guys get away with all that shit, man. I mean, women can hug each other. They can even kiss each other. They can do all this stuff. But if guys do that stuff, man, I mean, you just wouldn't do it, right? I mean, that's just the way, you know. Hey, my boyfriend's picking me up later. Oh, wow, I didn't realize. No, it's just my guy. He's a guy friend. Oh, well, I mean, girls say girlfriend, right? That's crazy. Yeah, no, I don't want craft coffee, you freaking creep. Yeah. Yeah, we know, Timothy. We just read it. Did you hear that? Let's see. Misogyny was like learning by example. Yeah. Okay. Her girlfriend was here to pick her up and walked away. Kohberger thought this was she thought this was inappropriate as they were both students. This was her first uncomfortable or strange interaction with Kohberger. She told her bosses about the incident. They told her they did not want her alone with him and informed her of several resources she could use, such as having a security escort or simply leaving. Wow. They also told her she was not the first person to have problems with Kohberger. Kohberger continued to come to the office when she was there alone. On one occasion, he would stand directly behind her chair as she was working. Kohberger remained directly behind her for a while and did not move until another advisor came into the room. Only then did Kohberger move away. She was informed staff had talked to Kohberger as many as 5 times about his behavior. After about the 3rd meeting, Kohberger did not come into the office as much to socialize. She would see Kohberger in the hallway and said he would corner her and attempt to conversate. She would try to not engage, but Kohberger would attempt to force a conversation. She clarified that Kohberger physically concerned her, standing in a manner where she could not leave without running into him. She described this as scary, especially when she was alone. She recounted another incident where she saw Kohberger walking outside, and she was as she was locking up. Kohberger made eye contact with her when she looked out, which seems strange because you would have to be looking directly at the window where she worked to make eye contact. Kohberger entered the building as she was leaving. She hurried into the bathroom to hide and avoid contact with Kohberger. When she thought about it later, she hid as if on an instinct due to how uncomfortable contact with Kohberger had become. I mean, look how... Did you guys have any idea of this level? I mean, this is like he was... Basically, they all thought he was like a kind of a predator. You know what I mean? Like, this is... Kohberger had a reputation for being very homophobic. Sometimes, her boss would take her home so she would not have to walk by herself or take the bus. She became concerned. I mean, they actually were like trying to protect some of these people. She became concerned because of how many precautions she perceived were being taken because of Kohberger. Yeah, there you go. I mean, that's it. That's what I was just saying. She recounted an incident in which her neighbors saw someone very close outside her window and told her to make sure to lock the door. Here, hold on a second. Shit, I'll do it myself. My God, you guys. And I just want to see what it looks like. Does it show up on the screen? No. Maybe it's not in there yet. What does it do? So it's down here, right? Hey, I'm waiting for it to... This is me. What do you mean it timed out? Oh, yeah, you guys. Jeez. Yeah, that sucks. Oh, well. Here. I'm going to make one... Here. Okay, there's just one. Somebody do the one up there, okay? My God. Healthy behavior after, let's see. Yeah, I thought that was an interesting. She was not the first person, not that one. This was her first uncomfortable, where was that sentence? Yeah, due to how uncomfortable contact with Kohberger had become, she thought about it later. She hid as an instinct due to how uncomfortable, and then down here it was, became concerned because of how many precautions she perceived were being taken in that department because of Kohberger. She recounted an incident in which her neighbor saw someone. Hey, Deidre Gambrill, come on, man. Thank you. But I don't know if that's going to count as one of the... I think it should, but I think it has to be in that exact range. It's just a $5 one up there. It's one goal. Thank you, though. Okay, let's see. Oh, my God. Is that going to work? Because that's $4.99, Lisa Valenzuela. Oh, it worked. Okay, what's it do? What's it do? It did work. Let's see. Does it... what happens? Does something... I thought there was some kind of flowers or... I didn't see it. Did you guys see it? Well, thanks, Art and Design. Hey, make sure to send me your address. I'll send you the mug. Oh, you got confetti? Okay, I didn't get to see it. All right, well, good. All right. Something to look forward to next time, I guess. She recounted an incident in which her neighbors saw someone very close outside her window. That's got to be Kohberger. And told her to make sure to lock the door. She did not know who that person was, but learned she lived fairly close to Kohberger. She learned from Professor that Kohberger was fired as a teacher's assistant after the fall 22 semester was over. She described all the interactions Kohberger, I think they were going to try to find a way to get rid of him now that we hear all this stuff. And pass the buck on to somebody else. She described all the interactions she had with Kohberger as uncomfortable, except for the very first time she saw him. She saw Kohberger almost daily until winter break. The conversations Kohberger would start with, with something were not necessary in an educational or professional context. She perceived the conversations happened only for Kohberger to be around her. She only knew of one time where Kohberger behaved differently than he normally did. Kohberger needed to talk to her, or somebody who was in the office with so-and-so, was speaking, God, look at all this redaction. Was speaking with, and Kohberger was waiting near the door. She thought Kohberger wanted to speak to him. He declined this and continued speaking with her. Kohberger came into the room and sat in a chair, but nobody acknowledged him. Wow. When he realized this, he became angry and stormed out. She described Kohberger as very angry, as if he had built up fury or rage. You're not seeing me. It was her opinion that Kohberger became angry because he was ignored and nobody acknowledged him. I asked her if Kohberger acted any differently after the homicides in Moscow. After thinking about it, said it was right around the same time that Kohberger stopped coming into the office as much. Prior to that, she had described Kohberger as somewhat arrogant and told her and described Kohberger as somewhat arrogant and told her head up high when describing him. Oh, and held her head up high. Jesus, my brain just kept saying some other word. When describing him. After that time, she said Kohberger kept to himself more and more, seemed to be less interactive. When she described Kohberger after the homicides, she kept her head down. Kohberger did not disclose personal details or anything about himself when he would walk to something. There was one instance, or maybe a class or something. There was one instance where he may have placed a hand on her shoulder, but it was during conversation and not to physically control or assault her. Specifically, she thought it was strange that Kohberger seemed to know her schedule and intentionally encounter her. You know, it's weird. Do you guys think the homicides would have happened if one of these girls somehow that he was interested in him and they started dating? What do you guys think about that? And I'm not saying, oh, they should have dated him, because then it would, Like, let's just say, by some chance, one of these girls was interested in him, and they were dating. I don't think he would have, I don't know if he would have done it. Oh, so that was her girlfriend. She described herself as a gay woman and thought it was also strange because she had previously told Kohberger that she had a girlfriend. This did not seem to deter him. I mean, that's crazy right there, right? Yeah, he might have killed it another time. You know, once that she broke up with him, he probably would have been right back onto it, right? Man, that's just insane, though. Like, she's actually a gay woman, and he kept trying to... Jesus. Did not seem to deter him. Of all students she had interacted with, Kohberger was the only one that made her feel uncomfortable. This report is a summary of the interview. All right. Well, guess what? That landed right at the buzzer, you guys. Look at that. 3 hours. End of report. Awesome. Man, I'm a little bit dumbfounded, to be honest with you. I didn't know that there was going to be there were students we heard, right? We always heard of the students saying, "Oh yeah, he was mean to, you know, the girls and stuff." But now we're hearing from the coworkers and people that were there, and he was just this absolute, like a monster, like a creepy, scary person inside the work there with, you know, so many different complaints and, you know, just really, really weird behavior going on in there. Crazy, huh? Yeah, I think it's a lot more than any of us really thought was going on. If you say, "Oh no, great," then you're lying, okay? Because none of us knew any of this shit. I mean, this is like every single person, you know, going into the rooms, basically, you know, I'm sure he even stopped. I bet you anything that was him looking into that window. And so that girl, remember the other girl? The other one had to get the security system put in by her boyfriend. Well, that lady isn't the gay one, right? So that means there's 2 different women in this, you know, the documents we've read so far that have had somebody creeping up on their window. The other one had the footsteps they were backed out of, and then this one, somebody saw somebody. So that can't be coincidental, right? I mean, that's just, that'd be unbelievable. That 2 of the girls that Kohberger was creepily interactive with both had some sort of person by their window, or somebody saw somebody looking in their window. Man, so who knows, man? Were they going to be like his next victims, or... Yeah, no, obviously he's been planning on killing, but you just wonder if somehow if he was dating somebody, would that alleviate the, you know, the anger that was why he was going to be killing. Because he might feel like, oh, okay, somebody likes me now, and maybe that would alleviate his need to kill. But probably, you know, being constantly rejected because of himself, even at work, that probably even pushed him more to the edge. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's nobody's fault that they didn't like him, right? That's just the reality, right? Like, just think about it, like, just technically looking at it. He's over there at school, and he likes all these different girls, and he's trying to talk to them, and not only that, they're reporting him, and he's just feeling, you know, he's probably like, you can just see it building up in there, and I bet you that's what actually was sort of the crescendo of him, you know, wanting to go kill even more so. Like, he was probably feeling this for a long time, because as soon as he got there, people were already, you know, treating him like this, and he already has, you know, it's interesting though, because he bought the knife and everything before he even went to the school there, because he's probably always felt this way. Like when he was in the bar, and they said, oh, he was on a list. So remember that he was on a list in a bar? Now that just makes total sense, right? It wasn't a one-off thing. That's just how he is. He was freaking people out in that bar. So he's probably wanted to kill for a long time. But it's weird how it could have just been like one person. If they finally somebody just miraculously liked the way he was, maybe it would have changed things, but it didn't. Yeah. Man, that's some crazy stuff, isn't it? Mm-hmm. Probably trying to run away to Pennsylvania, to Washington. Yeah, wherever he goes, right, exactly, M. Morgan. I think that's exactly right. Like, he just was thinking, you know, oh, these are just people over here. But, you know, he did buy the sheath, I mean, the K-bar knife and sheath and sharpener in March, late March, and he already, oh yeah, here's the thing that was interesting the other day, is that he bought that, the knife, the K-bar knife and everything, and he was already planning on going to Pullman before he bought that, and then he was applying, I think it was like a week after he purchased the K-bar knife, he was applying for that job at the police department. So, I mean, that's some crazy preparation that he was trying to do. Like, he had the knife, he knew he was going to use it to kill, or he was planning on it, and then he was trying to get a job at the police force while the knife is sitting over there on a counter, and he's talking to him. You know, messaging, emailing, whatever. All right. Well, thanks, everybody. Hope you guys found tonight's show interesting. Thank you all for reaching the goal and keeping us moving forward for the month. I'm hoping to have another one of those, you know, $4,000 or $5,000. And this month we'll give it more to, like, you know, the old, like, knick-knack and stuff like that. We're done with the scholarship fund for now, so we're at 18. We've done 18,000 in scholarships. We got, well, 6 of them is available right now for students to apply. I'm not sure if they're already applying or what they're doing, but all right. But thank you out there. Oh wait, hold on. Your request was received by the office. The request number, record request. This request is regarding the murder case of Brian Kohberger. I would like all release. Yeah, okay. The Idaho State Police requires additional time to fulfill this request. Pursuant to Idaho Code, absent further communication from our office, you will receive a response to your request within 35 days. If a response is unable to be provided during this time frame due to the time requirement, see, I asked for, I would like releasable case files including interviews with surviving roommates, surveillance footage, crime scene photos, and all other documents deemed releasable by the Idaho State Police. The victims in the case, you know, I say Ethan Chapin's, Anarchonal, I go through all that. And then they responded. So I did get a response there. That's pretty cool. Jeez. Somebody sent me this Chat GPT likeness of Kohberger. He's got blood spatter all over him with his thumbs up. Yeah, not showing that one. And thanks to Lillian and Maureen on the PayPals. And then we got Sherry and Lisa Valenzuela on the coffees. And then we have Alley Cake, Art and Design, gifted a membership, Richard Watts, Larry Fuller, CR. And by the way, this is what we're going to do. Like, if you go get that mug, you know, the mug, and what you do is you take a picture of yourself holding the mug, but you got to do, while you're holding the mug, you got to do the same face that I'm making. Like, I'm never watching again. And then we'll vote on it, and whoever wins will, you know, do like, you know, get the notebook set out. We'll do like maybe we'll send a hoodie or something. You know, the regular, the Nefarious hoodie. That's a cool one, if you ever seen that. So wouldn't that be cool, you guys? So if you guys get that mug, make sure to send it in. And then maybe at the, I don't know, middle of next month or something, we'll have enough collected and then we can vote on them. All right? Yeah, like, I'm never watching again. Like that. Yeah, there you go. Take a selfie of that one. Art and design. Then we had Richard Watts, Larry Fuller, CR, Leanne Bell, and CR also did 5 memberships on the stream earlier, the premiere. Ashley Yeager. Hey Gray, I found it interesting that Kohberger bought a pre-packaged Starbucks Frappuccino. Yeah, you know, you can buy a Frappuccino with like different kind of milk in it. Brown-Eyed Girl 714 became a Megazoid again. Then Alley Cake, Art and Design Studios, Laney Carter, Michelle H. Oh yeah, and also I forgot about the coffee, also by Brown-Eyed Girl. Oh, there they just popped up again. They were missing. And also Sherry. Yeah, Brown-Eyed Girl, Sherry, and I think that's it. And then also Lisa Valenzuela. Oh, there it is. Okay. That was weird. Sorry about that. Let me go try to see if I can get that fixed. The coffee on the screen. Because you can make it the way you want now. So let's see how that goes. Alright. And then Alley Cake, Art and Design Studios, Laney Carter, Michelle H gifted a membership, then Michelle H again, then Wendy Wibbles, Deidre Gambrel, and then Hello World, and then Alley Cake, Tam Ran, T. Ree, Sandy Shirley, It's a Crying Shame, Van Dale, Wendy Wibbles gifted one, Anonymous gifted one, Marcy Gilmore gifted one, Maureen S. New member, then That's What Lee Said. And then Udia, a new member. Then we have That's What Lee Said, gifted a membership. Then Brown Eyed Girl gifted one. And this account. And Sandy Shirley gifted one. I thought Udia thought we were all grumpy in here. Sandy Shirley gifted one. Then Lexi Staff gifted one. Then Kim gifted one. Then Lisa Valenzuela gifted 5. Then Sandy Shirley, That's What Lee Said, gifted one. Then Deidre Gambrel gifted another one. Then I gifted 5. Then Art Design Studios. Then Jody Anita gifted one. Then Deidre Gambrel. Then Roger S. gifted one. Then Deidre Gambrel been a member for 4 months. Then she gifted another membership. Then Nikki Zubs. Then Wendy Woobles tried to get the confetti going, but we set up another one. Wendy Wibbles did 3 of them there. Then Ron Hendricks gifted one. Then we have, let's see. So look at that. Ron Hendricks gifted one, even though we were upset. It's okay. And then we have, then I donated Super Chat to try to get to that goal, but I guess it ran out. And then Deidre Gambrel did one, and then Lisa Valenzuela, Art and Design Studios, got the confetti on the screen. Awesome. All right. Well, thanks everybody. Appreciate you guys watching the show tonight, hanging out. Hope you guys are finding it interesting. I am. It's amazing how similar all of their encounters are. That's cool. That's all right. Hey, thanks, Ron. Like I said, it's like Thanksgiving dinner. Tomorrow, won't even think about it. All right. Well, thanks everybody. We'll see you guys tomorrow. And as I always say, until next time, be safe out there. And a 1 and a 2 and a 3. Yeah, I've been doing this true crime thing for quite a while now. And during this whole time, I have not seen one person. Me too, what? That is a
crime dissector, a threat projector. I'm a certified human lie detector. I'm gonna get you on a stretcher if you try to play me like an old projector. Crime sector is my nectar. Professor Gray is gonna give another lecture. Crime collector, freak connector, and I'm always gonna be a pop protector. Fool deflector, interceptor. I don't mean to run a specter with a vector. With all respect, ya. Just remember I've a temple fucking check ya. I have no agenda, I'm no pretender, and I'll serve it to you straight without the blender. And in the end, I'm gonna send ya on a mission to reveal the true offender. Yeah, so I'll just get right back to work. All right, everybody? Talk to you later.
All right, everybody. Thank you for being... Alex, play that again. Thank you all for watching Gray Hughes Investigates, where we do live streams every single damn day of the year, including Christmas and Christmas Eve. Thank you all for watching, and we'll see you next time on Gray Hughes Investigates.
Hey, Gray, that was pretty cool. That was neato.
Hey, you like that, Mary Lou? Cool. All right. See you later.
Hey, good night, Gray.
Good night, Mary Lou.